Welcome to the Old World Fanatics, your Warhammer Fantasy podcast to quench your hobby thirst for all things the Old World. I'm one of your hosts, Gommo. I'm joined by Andrew and Josh. How's everyone going today, guys?
Not bad.
Not bad.
I was waiting for it after last week.
I know, you screwed me up and I was getting stressed and then I got stressed again.
It's a lot of pressure.
I didn't want to say anything.
Yeah. Well,
good. Just going to keep screwing around.
Look,
there is
if
so
you
much
tease him
on my
too
desk.
much, he's got to make us do it at some point. So
That's right.
Yeah.
So much on my desk, it's all in the way, and I'm really getting a bit frustrated here. But anyway, that's all good. We've got a big episode of lots of little things, as usual, and our main topic as well, hitting out after some patrons really, I guess, came up with some new rules, not new rules, but rules that people get wrong and that they had even sort of didn't know about. We thought that might be a cool little topic just to throw out a few, not only from the patrons, but from us and little things that we picked up or, been playing and then go, oh crap, didn't know that. Or just to sort of, just keep chatting rules while we're waiting on, previews and things, which we'll touch on again today as well. So, yeah. Did anyone get any hobby and stuff we can talk about as well? I'm assuming.
Yeah, we've got some hobby done. Yeah, we've got a bit of hobby that.
I know Andrew got a game in, so. Yeah.
I saw that.
Still. Yeah.
Yes.
I'm assuming it'll be a little bit, multiple little segments. Hopefully people enjoy it. If you haven't been here before, it's your first Old World Fanatics sort of episode, I guess. We're a bit of ramblers. We're the type of podcast that you should paint to because sometimes it goes longer than we think it's going to go. That's okay. Hopefully that's right, but who knows. But before we do kick off, I am going to give a big shout out to our Patreons. Obviously, a lot of podcasts and things like that have a Patreon to sort of get some support to help cover some of the costs and finances that it takes running these YouTube channels and audio podcasts. So we're no different. Jump over to patreon.com/oldworldfanatics. You can check out our tiers over there and join our awesome, we're looking at the numbers, trying to sort it out because Patreon's a bit weird here. I think it's 44 paid members now. So big thank you guys over there. There's a few tiers there. They're really just helping, obviously, push the channel along and also build a thriving Discord channel over there. We've got an Australian Discord channel, server, but there is a private Discord channel for our patrons. So if you want to jump on that, share your hobby, share your war stories like they do, and throw us quizzes, which seems to be popular lately, do that. So, yeah. But I will give them a quick shout out because we do like to do that. And we actually had technically 3. This is where I'm getting a bit confused with patrons controls. I think we had 1 upgrade and 2 new members this week. So thanks, guys. Big. Wow. And all of them on the 3D6 gyrocopter fund here. So we have to be building up this gyrocopter expeditionary force thing.
Getting some more of these guys.
But anyway, big thank you, Grant Vander Bush and Chris Bowler, which I'll talk a little bit about Chris in a minute. Big thank you. They're brand new 3D6 Gyrocopter Fund tiers. And I do believe one of our other members, Contrasting Hobby, which may have been paid and then wasn't paid and is upgraded as well. So big thank you to him, mate. And then we got Drunk Hammer Nate, Ben, Shooter Louie, I keep screwing.
Schmlandrew,
Benoit, Edward Fawcett, Cameron White, James McKellen, Liam Fallon, Tommy Kublin, Jay McBride, Flatworld's Edge, Sexy, Jelly, Herald of the Old World, Keel Hurd, David Dodge Lancaster, Tommy Dogs, Matthew Klein, Thumper, Matt Morris, Thomas Vavasow, Griff, Jess Tors, Wood Duck, Josh Griffiths, Ninanawim, Daniel Broadstock, Jonathan Wengler, Elliot Mitchum, Gilthos, Draconos, the modelling he does, the painting, can't believe it. Diesel, Danny Gamer, William Payne, Robert Z, Ria Rend. If you say it right, it's a cat's ass. Rend. Andrew Harris.
That's more like it. That's the kind of gear we like to see.
We're back to the maturity level that is Old World Fanatics. Andrew Harris, Bobby Gherkin, Gumwich, Sean Ritchie, Todd Lloyd, and Chapstick. So awesome, man. That's a growing community. Thanks so much, guys. It really does
appreciate
it. Also, awesome. If you don't have to join, just jump on YouTube, hit like, subscribe, and more importantly, comment. Because There's always stuff to talk about on episodes, either just fun stuff, answering what we've got wrong, vice
Yeah,
versa.
love that comments.
Throw
Yeah,
it on there.
yeah,
So
great.
really do appreciate it. Do you want to just? We don't have a heap of Patreon questions, which is good because sometimes they just flood us, and other times not, which has been good. So we don't. So let's just do the
I love
two
being
that we've
flooded.
got.
Flooding is
but then
always good.
we run out of the other topics. So that's why I thought it's probably not too bad in this episode because there's a couple of random things.
Yeah.
No, fair enough.
Do you want to jump on the
Rains
first
of
one,
course.
someone?
Yeah, I can do it.
While you're doing that,
Gilthos,
I'll bring up my screen.
you
I'll
bring
do
up
the
your
same.
screen. Yeah, cool. Gilthos asks, which army do you find the most enjoyable to paint? Mine is vampire counts, even though I do not enjoy playing them that much, which is interesting.
Do you think that's
Who shall fill
because
this one?
like just the flexibility, like obviously painting, not only skeletons but blood? Like I've never painted vampire counts. Obviously Andrew has.
It's my favorite army to paint.
It is. So okay, well you answer. Like,
Okay,
what do you
can you
reckon
tell
it
us
is
why
then?
Gilthos enjoys it so much?
I like all the different scary monsters. Like they kind of got like a bit of a, like Gommo was saying, you kind of got a bit of everything. So you got like skeletons, you got like dragons, like all different sort of beasties and all different stuff. But yeah, I think everyone just likes vampires. Like vampire counts has got to be one of the most, popular armies. But the vampires themselves are really just like painting. I reckon it's cool. I don't know.
Yeah, like because like I mean, I haven't painted them, and I haven't really had the urge to. But then when I think about it, I see what you mean. There's just and even like the ghouls are cool, and they're easy to paint potentially. But then you also could spend a heap of time on them as well. I reckon they're an army that you can make look dead and gross, or actually quite themed and stuff as well. And sort of if you get the whole vampire route. So
yeah, and there's like so many different vampires because
ethereal ghosts.
Yeah,
Heaps of opportunity to have like heaps high contrast army.
You're getting Gommo excited about this.
Yeah, I might have to start
next minute.
There's a few good vampires
printing off some vampires.
It's like that one army that I used to hate. I was like, fucking hate it. They just keep growing zombies, and I'm like, if I can't beat them, join them. They're not as bad. I shouldn't say that. They're not as bad. I feel like in Old World, they're not as bad to play against, even though they're better, if you know what I mean. They'll kick your ass. But the old way I used to get kicked in 8th was like just zombies, conga lines of zombies, zombies and zombies and zombies. And that's not as...
Yeah.
Not
in
as
8th, that wasn't a fun sort of...
Yeah.
wasn't a dynamic way of playing the game, was it?
No.
3 units of 50
it's
zombies.
very dreary.
Yeah. What about you, Josh?
Which army do I find? You're asking me which army to paint, or my thoughts on vampire counts?
No. Which army do you find most enjoyable?
I was thinking about this. I don't know that I have a specific army that we're going to answer that easily. Like, it's more about type of painting for me. Like obviously, I really always paint a lot of Bretonnians, and that's the army that I probably spent most time doing, and I probably do enjoy painting them the most. But mainly I looking at the other armies I painted, because and I've fully probably done is Wood Elves and then the Cult of Slanesh. I just like painting in lots of bright colors. That's what I think. Vivid, bright colors is probably what I most enjoy painting. And the livery of the Bretts is probably where I got that from, because it's so much bright yellows and reds and greens and blues and whites. But I think I've carried that through, because the Wood Elves I got quite bright green, and then the Cult of Slanesh are really pink and purple.
Yeah,
I
can't wait to see that in the flesh one day, but I haven't somehow. But
one day,
yeah,
one day. So I don't know. I think for me, it's like if I was to paint vampire counts, I feel like the style that I paint it in would also be quite a vivid color. I just feel like I can't escape that. It's just how I enjoy painting these things more than that. And so I try to make the army fit my style of painting. I guess.
Yeah.
Might not be the best approach. Oh dear.
What about you, Gommo?
Gommo?
I think I'm just thinking about the ones I've painted. I think the Empire's actually been my favorite. I think it may
Ooh.
be because it's the only one that is like the
Mhm.
Tomb Kings are obviously very themed because it's just the standard sort of Games Workshop style one. The orcs I've struggled with because I've had, I mean, you guys have heard me talk about like so much variability in different green skin colors and just the techniques, and that's
I thought you would have
yeah.
said orcs. Just because,
Just I don't know. I'm struggling with them to
I
yeah.
thought you said,
'cause
you sorted a
sometimes
technique
I have
for the
like at
skin.
the moment, that's fine. But I mean, when I think back at the totality of painting and enjoying painting them,
Oh, yeah.
I feel like Empire. I don't know. Maybe it's to do with I just like painting things that are more real, probably like humans. I can just smash them out, and the Empire you can make them look pretty. Like I think most of my figures, the best ones are probably Empire. So I must have enjoyed it. Like the my big 8, the Altar of Sigmar and the Hurricaneum and
Yeah,
Steam Tank's
that
still
was
one of the
good.
best things I've painted. It was one of the first things I painted. Like when I came back in the hobby. It's funny. I don't know what it is, but yeah. The only thing I think Empire let me down is just some of the figures are shit. Like the Knights. The Knights are just so horrendously old and crap that it's a bit hard to do a good job on them when they're pretty average looking figures. But yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, probably Empire. And really, I should expand that out and get another Empire province. Start painting a new one. That's the same, but just different color scheme. So
Yeah.
pretty
Oh
cool.
yeah. Then you could do like a civil war type theme going on.
Yeah.
Were you outdoor?
Yeah.
Marienburg?
Avaland.
Avaland. Yeah.
Yeah, that's black and gold, like black and yellow because of the Steelers. Being a Steelers fan, so it's black. That's fine. When I saw them, I went, "Oh, I'll do them," because that's tied into my other likes. Yeah. So
should I ask Benoit's question, because this is probably going to be more tailored, even though it's part for me and Josh, but more tailored towards Gommo. So I'll ask Benoit's. He said maybe you've already mentioned it in the past. I think Gommo possibly has, but have any of you been to Warhammer World? If not, do you intend to? So, Gommo, have you ever been to Warhammer World?
I have now, as of last. Well, hang on. What is it? Not last. Like as in May last year. Is that how you say?
Yeah.
Yeah. That was like,
sort of. Was it just before we sort of hit you got right back into it again? Is that what the timing was?
Yeah, sort of. It was all good timing. So I got asked to be a best man at like the year before, like the end of the year before type thing, and then at one of the long story short, he was getting married twice type thing. Like basically, he's Australian, she's from the UK, so we did an Australian wedding, but then the second wedding, which wasn't really a wedding, but it was you know what they do, like was in the UK. Now, I was best man for Australia, but someone else was like his UK mate was going to be the best man. But without getting too personal, I was going through some stuff with my wife, and I was at that point where I was like, fuck, I'm just going to do whatever I want type thing. And I said to him, and by the way, my wife and I are awesome. It's been really good, but we like anything, you have some struggles. And at that time, I just went, well, fuck, I'm going to go over. Like I said yes to him. I just went, I'm going to the UK. Like I don't know what. Like I'll just
went on the pilgrimage.
Yeah, I'm going to the UK. So anyway, but what ended up happening over the next few months is I don't know what it was. It was just maybe people were playing 6. I can't remember how I got into it because it wasn't really you, Josh. Like I didn't know you were playing it specifically.
No,
just sort of popping up.
Yeah.
And because we knew Old World might be coming at some point, and I was like, I need to paint some figures. I started buying 40k, and then and then I just got into 6 then. And then at that time, I was like crossing fingers that they were going to at least do a reveal because everyone was talking. I don't know if you guys remember, they were talking about it was the 40th anniversary of Warhammer, which is actually 40 fantasy, not 40k. But of course, Games Workshop's great planning of everything they do is stupid. They totally missed the boat on all that. And so anyway, I went over there. That's me out the Rhino.
Multimedia. Nice photo.
Everyone has to have that sort of picture. And it ended up being funny because my 2 daughters decided to come like fairly last minute. So it was like dad trip with 2 girls and 2 weeks driving around the UK, went up to Scotland and obviously went to this wedding for a few days. And and I just have
Oh,
like
yeah.
hundreds and hundreds of
Oh,
pictures from the. I did 2 tours through the, the display cabinets. Now, obviously, they're
Yeah.
all mostly AOS stuff in there, but there's some
Yeah.
obvious, fantasy stuff in there. And look, it's
Yeah.
still good. Look at the old. That's the old 5th Ed,
oh,
4th Ed
old hammer.
archers
Goblin
too.
green. Love it.
There's Morglum Neck Snapper, the old Doom Diver. So they have all these old ones. And the thing that's so nostalgic, which you guys would understand
Yeah.
too, is these are the exact figures, you saw in the White Dwarfs. That's why I just
Yeah.
couldn't
Yeah.
get over. Like,
Mm.
you're seeing some
Old
of these
checklist.
figures, you're
These
like,
are
I
the
remember
stuff that was-
even these
Yeah.
guys. Like, they're Tyranids,
Yeah.
but I remember them,
Yeah.
And that was that first Horus guy. It's just, it was pretty cool.
That's a huge, nostalgic
Obviously,
trip.
had some drinks at the thing, and I mean, there's just, I won't go through them all, but there's
Little
literally
Bugmans.
hundreds,
A lot of photos
hundreds
there.
of pictures I took. I guess the only downside is obviously Old World wasn't out at the time, and obviously it came out a little bit after. I was like, damn it, because I even went to the in preparation. What did they do? It's not Warhammer. Oh, God, what do they call it? It was up in Manchester. It's like not Warhammer World, but Warhammer. It's like their big convention that they don't do all the time anymore. So I went to that as well.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Yeah, it's like the word is Warhammer Fest. Warhammer Fest.
Ooh,
What do they-
Warhammer.
Oh, okay, that rings a
Yeah.
bell. Sorry, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So 40K was released. 10th Ed 40K was their big thing. So it was mostly all very 40K focused, but. It's just interesting. It's a bit bad timing because I feel like with the podcast now, there would have been so many people at Warhammer Fest that it would be pretty easy to meet now if it was on again and you went now. You know what I mean?
Oh,
And
yeah.
plus, even meet people in Nottingham. Some of the other YouTubers
Yeah, yeah.
in Nottingham, easy to catch up, play a game. So let's just
Superstar Gommo.
say. Let's
my God,
just
it's Gommo!
say I have some. This is breaking news, and Andrew and Josh don't even know about this, but.
Ooh.
I've got some plans, and it's maybe not next year. It could be next year, but I'm probably not going to. I'm probably doing a 2026
Ooh.
UK/Europe trip, and I've deliberately already planned that I'm going to do that and catch up and play some game. I want to play Old World in Nottingham with some other YouTubers.
Second pilgrimage.
Oh, cool.
And do
That
it
would
again.
be awesome.
We're on tour.
Yeah. And let's just say I
This is
wouldn't have
awesome.
voted, but let's just
Love it.
thank Trump for some very high performing financial assets that's just taking off at the moment. I went, fuck it, cha-ching, take some out. If I'm going to get some reward, I'm going to use it for what I want, even if I didn't want that, without going into specifics. But anyway, so anyway, that's what I'm going to plan on doing. I've already decided that will be a fun thing to do in a couple of years. So
awesome. That is
back.
awesome. Love it.
So you guys have 2 years to save up and come. So let's,
Yeah. Oh dear. You'd be packing up your army and stuff to go over there as well, right? You wouldn't be
because I'm going to
borrowing
go
an
with
army, or
Kate.
what'd you do?
Yeah, just borrow. I'll just try. I'm assuming
Borrow on?
people will let me.
Okay, that's more feasible. That's more doable.
Yeah. And
Like,
I'm going with Kate and I'll go, and I'll just have to dump her for a night or two while I play some games and talk Warhammer with some people.
A night or two.
Planning on it. It's going to be good. And we'll do Europe and stuff. That's not just that, but sort of joint. Like if for people who don't live in Australia, like when you do this stuff, you have to pretty much pack everything else in because it's a long flight. And
that's a huge flight.
And I'm not going economy this time, so that's going to be fun too.
Ooh.
So spending up.
Wow.
So,
You're really splashing out.
yeah. It's the only way to get Kate to fly that far.
It does suck.
So,
being
kids can
upright
stay
for
home.
that long. Josh, do you have any plans on ever going to Warhammer World?
Not really. No.
No.
Don't have any. I mean, well, maybe in a couple of years we'll see.
That's
I'll
right.
probably
Yeah.
Gommo over. Who knows?
Maybe, yeah.
But the way the
no,
patrons are going, you just use that money. They're just coming in like nothing else now.
No, I've never been. It'd be nice to do. I mean, I have been to Europe a few times, but never thought to drop by that. I guess I was never like actively playing at the time. Any time I've been there, Europe. I guess I haven't been there for a couple of like more than 15 years or so, anyway. So no, maybe next time I'm there, drop by.
Yeah, it doesn't kind of like, oh yeah, I'm gonna Europe. Oh, Warhammer World. Yeah, it's not like the first.
Yeah. And what are you doing, Andrew? You're gonna like it would be is it a dream of yours at all, or are you just like, nah?
No, I'd like to go. Like we were looking at going to Europe possibly. Well, we were looking next year, but we were looking at going to Italy again. But Italy's they're doing what do they call it? I completely forget. It's basically there's all these people go to Italy. It's going to annoy me now. All the Catholics, they go on a pilgrimage to Italy. So we were thinking Jubilee.
Oh yeah.
So we were maybe going to do the year after, which might, maybe.
There we go. Maybe this is sounding good. We got time to plan.
Lining up.
Nothing's booked.
The moons.
That's right. Yeah, all right. Like I was thinking about because when I decided to sort of go, let's just do it. Like when I say let's do it, let's start planning it. Like, okay, no, that'd be cool. When I was thinking about Warhammer World, sorry, I keep talking about this, but it's just funny. Like, there'd be people like who live in Nottingham, and yes, it's still a cool thing, and I think the people who do go there and play understand that it's a cool thing.
Yeah,
but it is weird that we probably put it even further up because it's almost like a pilgrimage or a mecca to it because you're so far away. And plus, obviously, there's so much history and nostalgia. Like if you were into, if you picked up AOS in the last 8 years, would you really care about going to Warhammer World like that? I don't know. Would you might? I don't know, but it certainly. I don't know.
It's
feels
not
like to
the
me,
quiet level of childhood nostalgia in the same way, is there?
Yeah.
Like, was it seeing those same models from White Dwarf? Was that probably the high point for you? Like,
yeah, probably that. And I mean, even Bugman's is cool, and it's what's so funny, and you just feel like going, "You guys are dickheads!" Like it's still done up, like it's Bugman's. You know what I mean? It's like it's fantasy, and yet it's fucking dead. Like at the time, I'm just like, who runs this shop?
Oh, right at the time,
like it's just. Yeah, I mean, you give him a pass because you knew it was coming, like Old World was coming, but you're just like far out. Yeah, it's just weird.
And we wonder why we don't have any GW support, and we're just like back.
Although they do a great house.
Those clowns.
You know what I think of them. But anyway, so it is. It's the nostalgia of just those real, like the actual figures. I think in the paint jobs and and it is impressive. Some of those the modeling they do is awesome.
I'm sure there's an really early episode of one of these that you did go into your mindset at the time of being there and a confusion about I don't think there had quite been any concrete announcement about when the old one was coming out at the time, and I think I remember you going about how confused you were at the time.
So many mixed emotions.
But like I didn't get to experience because even again the gaming hall is a fantasy gaming hall. It's got nothing to do with AOS or 40k. Like it's Warhammer fantasy.
It's all themed fantasy.
Yeah, and to not be able to sit there and play square bases at the time was just ludicrous. So like that's a big part that's missing. And so I reckon if you go again and that's out and you can sit down and roll some dice and play some square bases, I could probably die then and just that'd be a happy
the one bit you missed out on last time.
I feel like that you need to do that again. And I could imagine, I even envisioned, you know what I'd be doing? I'd be drinking beer, sitting back, rolling dice. I didn't care about it wouldn't be competitive at all.
Oh, of course. Who cares about winning or not?
But it'd be even, you'd just be sitting there.
Getting tabled left, right, and center.
Yeah.
Okay.
Who was tabling next?
I'll take Nigel Stillman. I'll clone his list and take that and just however it is, that's what I'm using. Yeah.
What with the three layers of gloss varnish on it?
Yep. Whatever it is. Yeah.
At least you wouldn't have to worry about packing it very
just throw
carefully.
it in
just throw it in a big bag.
Won't get through weight limits, but Oh, anyway, that was a good question. But yeah, man, if you're over there,
It was
very
I like that
lucky. That's
question.
all I could say. Actually, what a segue if you're over there. Should we talk about that
Oh.
briefly?
This is like some kind of professional, like it's like we've been doing this program for like more than a year. This segue,
wow.
it's beautiful.
That's it. The
So-
teleprompters come up. It's yeah.
Or someone's in the beat of your earpiece. Moving on.
We never listen.
So Chris Bowler, I hope that's how you say it, one of our newest patrons this week, also sent me an awesome message, or sent us, but I think I'm the only one who actually has. It's the way, again, Patreon. Maybe we should move. I seriously think we should just move to YouTube memberships instead, but that's a whole different discussion. He sent me an awesome message basically saying that, I'm trying to find it, like wants to support the show and all that sort of stuff. But he said, I'm in the UK. I have a spare ticket for Throne of Skulls event in February. He feels like returning it's a bit too much overhead, bit too much admin, and we should give it away in a competition. Obviously, he's not giving away flights or accommodation, so it's only the ticket. So realistically, you have to be able to go to Warhammer World, which is what we've just been talking about, to basically claim this. So,
that's so awesome.
Firstly, thank you so much. I mean, how good's that,
incredible.
Man? Thanks, Chris. That's
so generous.
I wish
Legend.
I should have had some effects here for clapping, but anyway, I don't. It's all coming together. We're getting professional here. This is awesome. We are also, unrelated to this, are going to start live streaming our podcasts, probably the last or first of every month. And at this point, it's looking like the first of every month. So our podcast in 2 weeks, we're going to live stream our podcast. And obviously, some of the UK people can join, Australian can, and all that sort of stuff, because we record pretty late at night. And on that, we're going to give you a little bit more details about how you can actually win or go in the chance to win this ticket to the Throne of Skulls. So we wanted to mention it now. Obviously, say a big thanks to Chris, and we'll, in between now and 2 weeks, we'll be dripping out some information on our socials about what it'll be. And obviously on that live stream, we'll officially kick off the competition, and it'll kick in. And then hopefully, I don't know, we haven't totally worked it out, but a week or so after that, we'll see the results. And then someone, by the time Christmas comes, will have a ticket, thanks to Chris, one of our patrons, to Throne of Skulls at February at Warhammer World.
The golden
and could
ticket.
represent Old World Fanatics, and that should be another idea. They have to wear. We have to
wear merch.
They have to be
Yes, I love
decked out in full merch.
Yes. T-shirt, dice,
big
honorary
microphone
old
hat.
Fanatics.
They have to wear headphones the whole time, like they're podcasting.
Charlie did not think of that just then.
It's an evolving idea. It's great.
Yeah. So anyway, we maybe that's the competition.
They'll have to come on and tell us how they went, eh?
We'll get them on.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So I guess with that, we've got a lot of Aussie listens, but we've got a lot of internationals. And if you're close and you can make it to, Throne of Skulls, you're more than welcome to, go for the gold in the competition. I guess the thing is, you can always go for the gold too, and you might win the thing, but we're all obviously going to keep passing it down until someone can go. So we don't want someone taking it off. Otherwise, it's not fair for Chris, who is obviously donating it. We need it used. So cool.
Amazing.
I can't believe it. That was just such a good thing to wake up for the other day. I was like, man, what a legend. So, yeah.
Just on a side note, can we get sound effects for our live stream? I feel like that would be so cool.
Yeah, well, technically we do.
What kind of sound effects? Like comedy sound effects?
All sorts of sound effects.
Yeah. Well, technically, you know how it's got background music in here? Like, you can hear that? Yeah. Well, we can add effects in there. It just isn't in there by default. I always wonder why they didn't do that. But anyway, let's do that for a live stream. I like it.
Like a tuba playing and that kind of thing. Is that what you're thinking?
Sort of stuff. Yeah.
Really immature stuff.
Just the lamest. Yes.
Because we're not lame enough already.
Yeah, that's it.
Some extra sound effects. Oh dear.
What do we want to move on to? There's lots of little things to
Hobby?
still bring up.
Is it a hobby?
Oh,
Too early for a hobby?
do you want to do a quiz?
Let's do the quiz.
We won't do
Another
Let's do
both.
the quiz.
We've got like 3. We've missed like 3 Jordan Sorcery quizzes, but I'm not going to do
no,
3.
they were too
just do
hard.
Well,
one.
no, don't do. I think we're really going to limit one quiz per episode. Otherwise,
Yes.
Yeah.
I feel like the quizzes
Turns
are going to be
into-
tiresome.
I think so too.
I can only handle one level of disappointment. Just is there an easy? Can you choose an easy one?
I could try. I can look at
Just
both. and
scroll
see
through,
which
see if
one
you
I
can find
think.
an easy one.
Okay. Let me
Just-
just see.
And they get like, which sculptor? I'm
Remember,
like,
I don't know if the listeners like it, but I feel like they it might help their memory.
We're
as
all
well,
learning.
but
Yeah.
yeah.
It's an educational podcast
mm,
about the origins of Games
Of
Workshop.
Games Workshop. That's right. Especially when you go to Warhammer World in 2 years, Andrew, or year and a half, whatever it is.
you know.
Yeah. It's good to know a
Brush
little
up.
bit more about the other side of the fence a little bit.
Mm.
Sorry, I'm just trying to, because I shared my other screen, of course, I need to
Ooh,
stop that.
Only got. It's a lot better than laptop, but isn't it?
Oh,
The dual
yes, I
screen.
could not work on that the other day.
Back in
when I
the
was-
command center.
Commands.
Right, here we are. So,
Back from the
I don't know which
Apple
one this
Island.
is, 18th to the 11th. Oh, that is today. So this is the latest one. Which
Right,
of
let's do
these, so Jordan Sorcery's weekly quiz hammer, although I know now, it sounds like, Andrew, you're not a big fan of this, which is fine. But if Jordan brings out the official end of year one, we have to do that one. Maybe we should
Yeah.
live
Yeah.
stream that one and actually see if the like not patrons, but the listeners will help us answer them.
I just feel like I was too young to absorb this information. Like
yeah.
this is my era when I was like, I don't know, what, 12, 13, 14. I'm like, I didn't look at sculptors. I'd be like, that's cool. That's a cool model.
Yeah.
I didn't, who sculpted that? Like,
Yeah, no, I totally get it. Yeah. I probably didn't know as much, but yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. Which of these armies
do it.
was first to receive an official, I mean, yeah, you'll know this, not Codex book for 40K? Does that
40K.
mean- Oh, okay. I was going to say, is it the first Codex? But it's not. It's actually just out of these, because these are newer.
Oh,
Factions.
Yeah. Hang on.
Oh.
Which one was the one? And I reckon there's tricks here where he's used different editions. So you go, oh, this looks like the earliest one, but is it really?
First to receive an official codex.
So wait, so what are the options?
So yes, because people can't see this. There is A, Necrons. I mean, if you can't see this, it's going to be hard because you really need to look at. Oh, no,
the
it's even
image.
better if you're listening to it because you don't want to know the image, I think. I reckon it's throwing you off. A, Necrons. B, Sisters of Battle. C, Custodes. Or D, Tau. So which of
A.
these was first to receive an official codex?
Got to say A.
That's
I reckon A.
what I'm thinking.
I have absolutely no idea. I'm going to say Tau.
Okay.
Ooh.
He doesn't answer it straight away, eh? We just keep going. Yeah, cool.
No, answer at the end.
Okay. Which of these gangs was not available at the launch of Necromunda in 95? Geez, I was in year 10, 95. It's awesome.
The launch of Necromunda.
Do you guys
Oh my
remember year
God.
10?
B.
Year 10.
Portal.
I remember more about year 10 than I'm ever playing
Than this?
Necromunda.
Yeah, same. A is Orlok, B is Cawdor, C is Escher, and D is Goliath.
I've never heard any of these
Okay, I'm pretty
words
sure
before
Goliath
in my life.
Goliath had the
Is definitely one that was
yeah,
there.
they had the big Mohawks.
Yeah.
Warlock.
Cawdor rings a bell as well. Isn't
Warlock
Escher,
is-
is that Escher's? No, that's Escher. I'm getting confused. with
It's
Skaven.
Asian. Yeah.
Oh, it's
Warlock
A or
was
B.
definitely one of the early ones.
Maybe it's Cawdor then, or Escher. It's,
I'm
okay.
thinking
I don't know. I'm going to
Cawdor.
go B. Okay.
I'm going to go
Yeah.
Escher. I like Escher.
Okay.
Not for any reason.
Which of these is a Warhammer quest room included in White Dwarf card insert and not an official Doctor Who audio drama? A, Flames of Cadiz. B, Frostfire. C, Flames of Kazlar. Or D, The Locked
Kazlar.
Room.
The what?
These is a
They're
warm
not-
quest room.
So wait, so three
So
of these
Three
are
of these
Doctor Who
are
audio
Doctor
dramas?
Who audio dramas,
Ah,
basically.
Wow. Wow. Crossfire, the Locked
I'm going
Room,
C,
Flames Kid is.
but I have no
Kazlar.
idea. I feel
No,
like The
I'm-
Locked Room is a bit too non-Games Workshop-y.
Yeah. I'm going
Yeah.
to go Kid is. I'm going to go Flames of Kid is.
Okay.
I'll go B, Frostfire.
Okay.
Okay.
Ooh, we're all
We're
different.
we're all over the place.
Four. Which of these is not a real
yes.
Games Workshop Blood Bowl team? Lamento Tomb Kings, Darkside Cowboys, Wasteland Warriors, or Auckland Raiders? Okay, so pretty sure D is definitely one. C is definitely one. I'm pretty sure.
Is it?
I think A
Right.
is wrong because Lamento Tomb King sounds like it's a mix between Vampire Counts and Tomb Kings.
Yeah. I don't know if B was like just trying to throw you off because it's
Yeah.
almost too easy. Because
Oh,
B
'cause the
doesn't sound
Cowboys.
right, but like
B
yeah,
doesn't
Cowboys.
But then
sound
they did
like a
Auckland
fantasy.
Raiders, so
Yeah. Might have to split here. I'll go B if you want to go A. Surely one
I'm
of us
going
get
A. And probably
I'm going to go B as well.
cool. What the? Oh,
Oh,
okay.
Mm.
We got an image here of. Well, what is the
What's
miniature's
that?
name? Okay, I can't describe it. I don't know. I can't even tell what it is. It's a dude on a chair. Is it?
Can we hang on? Is there any way we can zoom in on
zoom in.
said-
Oh, there we go.
Like-
Electron.
Like if you told me
microscope.
what I wouldn't even know these are miniatures. They're so old or something.
So is that like a cat's head? Like on the right, it looks like it's on above half an avocado. But then on the left, it's like coming out of a pot.
I don't know what this is, but yeah, let's. So
What
what
is
is this miniature's name? A. Nurgle, Lord of Decay.
Mhm,
D. B. Sauron the Dark Lord. C. Ariok, Lord of Chaos.
mhm.
Or D. Skeletor, Lord of Greyskull. Okay,
Lord
well,
of
we can get rid
Grayskull.
of.
Okay.
Can we
D,
go
Not
back
Lord
up?
of Decay, I don't think.
but it's not Lord of Decay.
Couldn't be
I don't think it's
Sauron. I
Sauron.
don't think Sauron would
Oh, I
be
don't think it'd be Sauron.
hooded
So-
like that.
So it's
Yeah.
just C. Lord of Chaos.
Well, those. Oh no.
I would have thought there'd be more 8-pointed stars if it was Lord of Chaos,
Mm,
but
maybe the. What was the Grayskull one?
well, that's
Is that
that's
even a
Skeletor.
Warhammer thing?
No, that's man.
Skeletor.
That's He-Man.
I love Skeletor's had to come
I-
back. It's,
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, that's funny.
surely it's not Sauron.
Do you reckon it's A, Lord of Decay? Do you reckon it's like an early, like Nurgle thing?
Oh, could it be?
It does on the left. There's like a cauldron. I was looking for those 3 dots, but maybe
Yeah,
that's
but that could have
too
been
early.
a bit later. I'm
Yeah,
going A
later
now.
thing.
Fuck it. I'm going A. Unless it's a really bad Sauron, like from some
Could
early,
be a bad
you know,
Sauron.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna go
All right.
Sauron.
I'll
Okay.
go C.
So it was that by the look of it. Anyway, B is Sisters of Battle. So first one was
Okay,
Sisters
so
of Battle.
none of us got
Didn't
that
get
right.
C was Escher. You guys
Oh,
got that.
Escher.
Gosh.
Yes.
Or someone got it.
I got it.
C is a room tile and dungeon card of Flames of
Oh,
Kazla. I got one right.
That's
Wow.
Well done.
Yes.
And then
Yep.
A, Darkside Cowboys
Yep.
was included in the first edition. Auckland Raiders was second, and Wasteland
Oh.
Warriors. Oh,
Wait, so what's the answer
oh,
then?
so it is A. It is A. Whatever A was.
Oh, A was
Well, the
Lamento.
Was that
Memento one.
included?
Yeah, I
Lamento.
got that one.
Oh, that's so
Oh.
confusing.
And then B,
Um,
Citadel Producer Ranger,
with
Lord of the
Sauron.
Rings miniatures. So it was B.
Mm,
So I got 2.
cool. That doesn't look like Sauron at all.
No.
Nah. Unless it was like when he was before he turned into.
I think this is just the error of like, you know,
Yeah.
you're just happy to have a piece of lead in your hands. It was so
Yeah,
bad.
you could just-
like it's
Yeah.
nothing against the
Yeah.
sculptors, but they're only working what they can work with.
It was a very different era.
Yeah, it was.
40 years ago.
Wow,
Yeah.
that was our. I don't know. What did you guys go? I only got 2. What did we get together? Did we get about 3 or 4 together? We could join them together.
I
think
got
we
one
missed-
right. I got the question wrong because I didn't understand the question, so I shouldn't have got any.
We all got the first one wrong. We definitely got the
Yeah.
40K one we all got wrong.
Mm.
I think between us we got the others right. If we just take whoever got it right.
Yeah, I'll take that any day of the week. We'll pull,
Cool.
pull our correct
Statistically.
answer.
Right. Well, what do we want to do? We've still got. I've got like a spell, like a little review thing to do. I don't know. I could do it in hobby time if you want. Also,
No, I
want to
can't
do
go
another
with it.
plug for
Yeah,
tournaments.
review.
Or do you want to go in
Gommo's
hobby?
review.
Hit the review. Yeah.
Oh, hit the
go
review.
for it.
Okay. So, and this is another thank you to I will bring him up on the screen before I start fiddling with my other screens while we got him here. J15 Games on Etsy reached out as well a couple of, geez, it might have been 2 months ago now, just had to post it, and he's in America. He does a bunch of, he's in Southern Cal. He does a bunch of like aids for gaming, not just old world, terrain, 40K, all that sort of stuff. And he just hit me up and said, I'm going to send you some spell tracker for the old world. And just, try it out and, give him a review and obviously give him a bit of a plug if we like it. And I will say, admittedly, it came like 2 weeks ago, and then I had to go down to Tasmania, so I couldn't. It was a bit hard to take down. Well, not hard to take down, but I didn't want to do the review there. And then I haven't played a game since, so I need to play a game, hopefully this week with Andrew, and give it a whirl. Although Andrew did get a game in, and he could have given it a whirl, but I left it at home. I thought what I'll do is bring up the
new level of.
How do I make it the focal point?
Ooh.
Solo layout. Here we go. You see my dirty desk right here. I do have
new
one
magic
right
going
here.
on here.
So it came with. So for those who are listening now and going, what the hell are they talking about? It is. He calls.
I also
don't
know what's going
trackers.
on. By the way.
Yeah.
They're
basically MDF.
How does this work?
MDF. What would you call these? You got to help me describe them, guys. They're like a little box thing that you can slide the spells into for the ones that your wizard
like
has.
a spell organizer, yeah.
Yeah,
for your
a
wizard.
spell organizer, and they come
Like
in a 6 or a 2 or a 4. I'm not sure. I'm assuming you get all of them when you buy them, but don't quote me on that one. And sorry, just have to reach down, and then you get every spell lore category, and they're all little MDF things.
Yeah.
Little MDF.
So I've got the battle magic one
just
done
slides in and out of the box.
Yeah.
And they slide in and out the box.
Yeah,
you can obviously change your
little
lore as well.
details.
And this is perspex. This is like you can write on this with like a Sharpie or something and rub it off.
Like a little whiteboard thing at the top.
Yeah, a little whiteboard at the top, so you can write level 4 or whatever you want. It's got the turns on the back too, if you need to remember the. Sorry, it's not the turns, but like the what are they called? Phases, and when the things like the movement is conveyance, shooting is missile, like what type of spells go in what phase.
Yep, sure.
So that's cool. And then you got your spell lore at the top, and then you've got all of them. So depending on how you randomize them, and obviously you work out which ones you got. They then have all the main stuff, which is the spell number, the name, obviously the casting value, the range, and the type. So conveyance, missile.
Spell.
Yeah.
Enchantment, vortex.
No, that's a cool little just to help you
gaming
with
aid. It's gaming aid.
Yeah, so it's really so it's really just putting whatever spell you generate, you put in there so you know what spells you have. So it's essentially like a replacement for using cards.
Basically.
Kind of,
and I guess cards are good because obviously the downside here is you don't have the spell description, right? But I guess as you get better at the game, you don't really need that. And you can still take them out. Like if you've got Oak and Shield, you can take it out and put it on your unit or put it in front of the unit.
Yeah.
Which is actually, these are probably way easier to read across the table than a card half the time, depending on which cards you get. And sometimes you can't even get the cards, so let's be honest. But outside of that, then you've just got all the info straight in there, and you're only carrying one thing and not like trying to find the cards all the time. And I wonder
to
if
me,
that's
you'd have
why.
like that and the cards. So you'd have like the cards next to it, and then use that as a primary aid. And then if you do need to know the details, and you can just pull the card out.
Yeah, that's not a bad idea.
I think that's how I'd use it too. Yep.
Yeah. And like it just keeps it. You know how like when your cards are all over the shop, like you're trying to remember like which one's conveyance and missile and like that. I think this would be because you could decide I'm going to put them in like command phase range. Like I could put my enchantments first, my conveyance, and then my magic missiles and vortex. So you could do it that way as well. And then when you
that's really cool.
There's lots of different ways probably to use it. So you got a 2 as well if you only got a level 2.
What's the
so the
6
only
for?
thing, sorry.
What's the 6 one for?
Well, I was wondering with that. I mean, geez, some people can get like 5 spells. The other
Bounce
thing is you
spells?
just have all of them in
Yeah.
there, I guess. Yeah, bounce spells or
Oh yeah,
I don't
bounce
know,
spells.
just to
Yeah.
carry them around. That's true. Like if you got that plus fireball, yeah,
Yeah,
not too bad.
ring.
Now the only two
Ruby
things
ring.
which I don't know if this maybe if I'll reach out to J15 and ask for the clarification. Is I'm pretty sure the pack I've got doesn't have any of the other laws, like the
Oh, like
what do you
that
call
race
them? The
specific
race
sort of.
specific laws.
Yeah, yeah.
And so that's one thing. And then I'm assuming he probably does have that. The only thing I was wondering, and I couldn't find an example, is how some of them especially have the 2 casting values.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, okay.
So I don't know what he's done there because I did skim the rule book ones, and I don't think there's any examples unless I'm wrong.
Yeah.
So I couldn't find one in the packs. So I'm assuming either maybe they just does it smaller, or I don't know. But just one thing just to note. But outside of that, I think they're pretty neat. That keeps it very tidy. So worth having a look. They're and pretty cheap if you're in America. Well, in Australia they're $7.95 or something. It's just probably the postage. But if you're in the States, obviously pretty cheap. And he's got some other ones.
It's really quite cheap.
Yeah, I don't know if that was just one law or not. Oh, it is at Select School. That's for one law, sorry. Oh, yeah, there you go. Look at this. Let me bring that back up quickly.
So there's like a combo deal.
Yeah, sorry. So it's $7 for only spells, or if you get, like if you buy out the whole pack, it obviously gets a lot more. I'm not sure how much, $25 or something. But yes, there they are. Faction, Tomb Kings, Beastmen, Chaos. So he does have the other factions. Now I just don't know if how that works with. There might be pictures here with the ones with the multi spells.
And if you only got one faction and you only got access to 3 different laws, you don't need all your laws, do you?
No. It does keep it very tidy. Like I don't mind the idea. I just never thought of it until I saw it. So I definitely would try it in a game and we can see how it works. Yeah.
Very professional. If somebody rocked up with that, I'd be, ooh, jeez.
They're gonna beat me. They're very ready.
A bit intimidating.
Yeah, it's just psychology right there. I'd just be like, oh shit.
So big thank you to J15. Just sent that pack for us to review, and we'll put his link on the show notes and check it out, and definitely check out that and his other old world stuff. He's got the templates and all that sort of stuff as well.
Yeah, awesome.
Which is pretty cool.
Yeah, that's cool. I'll be checking that out.
Before hobby time, I'm just going to call out quickly the old world rankings again, just to get us, for any Aussies out there who haven't yet filled in our survey for our season dates, which if you remember we talked about last week. We're just still after, like people we've had a fair few submissions. Just want to give people the next few weeks to really get in there and vote if they haven't already. So nothing much really to add there apart from, if you haven't done it, go to oldworldrankings.com, sign up, take the Masters survey, tell us what date ranges you think it should run and how you want the first season to, I guess, be scored, if you know what I mean, in terms of full 12 months, or you don't care if it's a bit shorter. Outside of that, I'm not sure there's any. Is there any new ones added? I don't think so. No, I think we covered them all last week, but still very healthy that there's still 1, 2, 3. One just finished last week. 1, 2, 3. There's at least 4 tournaments here still through the end of the year. So pretty healthy scene, to be honest. Yeah. So pretty excited about that. And
I love how convenient that is. Like I was looking at the Aquaman ones and like I was looking at the Axemaster and it's like it's on Facebook, right? You just click on that register button and it takes you straight to it. Like that is man, it's so well designed. Love it.
Nah, it's cool.
Yeah, and now the other thing, and I can't preview it yet because I shut it down, but I will mention it, bugger it, is Blue from Squared Hammer, YouTube channel, and runs a bunch of tournaments over there, is trying to organize Masters for the US as well, and I think it's going on this site. So if you are in the US and one of our listeners, stay tuned because it won't be very long that when you click up here in United States, which am I still sharing my screen? I can't remember. yeah, it will have the US Masters ranks and tournaments and all that sort of stuff as well. And at this point, as far as I know, Blue's just going to probably go with a very similar scoring to what Australia has, but that's just to get the ball rolling like we're doing as well. You know, basically put it out there, see what people think, and sort it out before 2025, which I think is a great way to do it. Keeps it easy.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Hobby.
Hobby.
Who has hobbied?
Do you want to me?
I've got something.
Go for it.
Inside.
What
that
am I
I
looking
can
at
get.
something on Josh's screen underneath
I
that he
am.
hasn't told us about? Oh,
Ooh, I don't want to miss
Guys,
that. Can I run inside and get something, and then you guys just give me 2 minutes, and you
Okay.
guys can,
we can
just-
pause it if you like.
I don't know. You
No.
talk. Gommo's got so many small segments. I'll be back. I don't want
I'll
to.
tell you though, if it is what I think it is, you know what's really funny? If it came
Oh
pretty
no!
recently.
Are you gonna?
No, I'm
Is
not
that what you're
talking
gonna
about that.
play?
No, I'm not talking about anything. I was just saying I was going to tell you a totally unrelated story. My mailbox fell over today.
Oh, so you're
So
gonna
I
say
haven't
something
checked-
came in
I
your
haven't checked the
mailbox.
mailbox because it's on the ground, and we had a storm last night, and I heard this bang, and I went, "What is that?" And I went out the front, went out the side. I went, "I don't know what it is." And then this morning, my wife nearly drove over the mailbox. It was like it's fully on the. I was like, so
Oh,
got a
no.
bit of concreting to do on the weekend because I've tried twice to like stick it in with like stakes, and it just is obviously
Yeah, it's just not going to stay
yeah,
up.
it's
Yeah.
time to concrete it. I didn't put it in; like it's been there since. I might have to get a
Well, need a
handyman. to come do
handyman.
it.
Yeah, I guess.
I
Yeah.
did think of you, Andrew, because I don't know how to do concrete. Jesus.
I know concrete
Are you
seems like
going?
a
Go and run.
big
Go,
step.
go. I'm trying.
Yeah, this is the story
Oh,
for your
this is the
2-minute
story.
window. What are you doing? You got completely entranced by your ridiculous
My-
letterbox story.
Yeah, one letterbox story. We can just put some, you know. Dun, 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 dun. No, I won't do that. Is it worth? No, I can't start hobby then if you're if.
Well,
I don't know,
apparently we
so-
can't start a hobby because he doesn't want to miss out on my hobby, on the little
Right.
photo that we got going down there. I mean, do you want to talk about your?
We can, and look, Andrew will pipe in as well, but I don't really have a lot. I mean, obviously, I've been doing the other dev stuff a little bit. No, I mean, I went away last week and stuff. And Andrew played a game that I probably spent too much time piping in on, and need to learn to just let them play. But it's fun when you drink. Apparently, I picked up a template and screwed Cam around. I can't remember doing it. Like he cast a spell and put it somewhere, and then but he moved it legitimately, and then I must have picked it up. Just because I thought it was on the other side of the table type thing. Yeah, okay, that's funny.
Okay.
Almost fell over.
Andrew's back. We are here.
Yeah.
That would have been
He's
funny. Live recording and Andrew falls ass over too.
Well, yeah. What do you want to? Well, you guys go into it because you got more hobby than me. I've got a little bit, but one picture, so
Alright.
not a lot.
Yep. So I'll pull this up then. This is loading. Yes. Okay. So my
I should go out
my
to
tabs.
the letterbox. Hey, that's on the ground.
You
and
should.
see.
my tabs arrived.
Oh god
What
damn it! I just went to go.
Yes. I've been to the bunch. Did yours get inspected by the Australian Border Force? By any chance?
Oh,
Has it
I
got a
don't
big
know.
green sticker on it?
No, it doesn't.
I couldn't
got a
believe it. I
big
was
green
like,
Stamp
I
on
was
it.
like, I was wondering what they were thinking when they opened up this Warhammer thing. And it's like,
Probably think it's
looking
like
for
acid or
drugs.
something.
It's got this big letter in it. For those listening, you know, my Warhammer tabs came and it had a little thing inside the envelope saying it had been opened for inspection by Australian Customs.
Nice.
Thanks, guys. Luckily,
so-
they all survived. I haven't put them in
Now-
my box yet.
Oh, I was gonna say you haven't put it in. Okay.
I haven't got around to it yet. I've been lots of other hobby stuff that's been going on.
I've heard good things, and I
Um,
watched that video, which is a bit disturbing on how to do it because it's all AI. I don't know if you've seen that. Well, I'm pretty sure it's AI. Like,
Oh, they're soft. Oh yeah, they're full on soft. Look at that.
but
Yeah,
yeah,
they're really
when,
soft.
when they're all done and they're all in, it looks really good and neat. Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, no, I'm keen to get them in.
Ooh.
Yeah, they do look good.
Influence
Apparently, the adhesive isn't going to come up like damage the pages either.
Oh,
Like
okay,
you want to
cool.
take them off
Yep.
at some point, which is
Yep.
nice.
Yeah.
Did you get some Gommo?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, just in
Just
your
got in
letterbox.
last minute.
Hopefully, it didn't
Yeah.
get crushed in your letterbox.
Well, yeah. I was wondering if people will deliver letters to it when it's laying on its side, but I don't know what the rules are with postal
I
service.
love that there's instructions.
So,
Oh dear.
do you guys remember who it was? Who sent it? Because it was like a tracking aid thing. Like,
Yeah.
No.
was a weird name. Like, was it just some type of courier? I can't remember. You didn't get you didn't get a tracking code.
Oh,
Maybe you did it with
no.
these guys. No, maybe I'm.
It was
getting
literally an
confused with another
envelope
thing.
with a
Yeah.
stamp on it. There's no tracking
Yeah.
on this.
Okay.
I'm intrigued. What is going on here?
So I didn't get many
Oh.
tiles done, but I did get some slightly ridiculous tiles. So this
Yeah.
is the ruins of Monte Castello
Right.
that I got painted there. So a bit of intrigue as to what's going on. Very
Yes.
colourful.
The colors of magic or something.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to work out. It's like shadows from fireworks. I don't know. What is going on?
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. So
And what's happening
you know,
with the water there? Is that water?
it's sort of a glowy effect I'm trying to
right.
get
Yep.
of those
Ooh,
crazy
yeah.
colours going out into the
That's lovely.
surrounding sort of territory and water around it. We'll see.
So
but
this
yeah,
is a yet to. This is a little Easter egg sort of thing. Like you're not gonna know until you. Well, it's not really an Easter egg, but it's a yet to be.
yet to be discovered implications. But I mean, the whole story of this campaign is like all this chaos, like has like all the battles and ructions have been caused by this castle's fall, the keep of Monte Castello. So what I'm hoping is some like adventurous fellows will go and try and explore it and just see.
So
see
how far? I
what's
see
going
some
on in it.
little like. There's a pink.
Some poor sap.
Is that you?
That's what
Some poor sap.
Someone's in that banner. Like someone's in that town with the colourful buildings.
Oh, the pink one. Oh,
Is that you?
in the
Are you Slender?
yeah, that's
Are you?
me. Yeah, yeah.
Ooh.
Oh,
That's
so
right.
you're not going to trek over there? Like that's too close to you, is it? Or how does that work? Oh no, you can move a fair bit. You can move a certain number of.
You can
squares,
move.
hey?
Yeah. Well, you don't really. Yeah, like you just measure your distance, and that's the distance.
Josh knows
to
what's going on, but he's
Yeah.
not.
But-
He's not going over there.
He's like, I'm not going there. I'm going the
Oh,
other way.
Yeah.
I'm so keen to see what happens when people go in this, guys. I cannot wait.
Yeah, I wonder what will
I'm
happen.
so excited.
So how many tiles all up have you done since? Because I know you.
Because there'll be two
had a
players
week or
going
two.
in, by the way. Oh, that's all I've done. This is all I've
Okay.
done because I've.
Do you have one of
yeah.
those shots that you had earlier? That was like the whole thing. You know, how
No.
we're gonna try-
Oh, I
damn.
should have got one.
Because
Damn.
I was putting it on
Because
the
there's only 8
backdrop.
more.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Damn.
It's funny.
Yeah.
Like time lapse.
I could do one. I could
Yeah.
just go and do one tonight if you like.
Okay. Yeah, good.
But yeah, I've only done 8 more tiles, so yeah. But yeah.
Is that a ruined town, like a ruined behind it as well?
Yeah, it's a little ruined village next to it as well. So the whole
Nice.
thing got ruined.
Got
By
ruined.
this
I'm not sure what I'm
colours
going
of
to do with those
magic
other
or
tiles
whatever
yet.
it is. It's either that or some type of chaos thing, but I don't know. And which I guess is magic, so
Could
it's
be.
Warhammer.
It's all very magical.
Mm.
Yeah.
It's a magical world of Warhammer.
Yeah.
Now there was one other thing in my hobby that was to do with the trees.
Mhm.
Oh yeah. Well, sorry. I mean, the campaign, by the way, that's this weekend. So yeah.
Wow,
it'll
that's
be-
quite quick.
It'll all be happening this weekend.
Mm.
So there was a lot of talk about trees in the Patreon.
Yep.
This week. And there was something else that happened to me hobby wise that was tree related as well, which I'll get to at the end of this story. But was it? I think in the Patreon, Cam was asking if anyone had any recommendations for other trees because he put up a photo of that battle report, and then he was a little bit sad about the trees that he had or something. I mean, I thought his trees looked pretty good. Like they're just classic.
Stock standard tree. So
Yeah,
yeah.
let's talk about a tree.
Yep.
there was a bit of talk in there about the different old Citadel trees, and I think Herald of the Old World said Monster Fight Club is a good option for getting decent looking pre-painted terrain on there as well.
Okay. I
All
missed
the
that one.
benefit in the
I'll take
box.
that. Cool.
But because I've had a long, where are we? I'm just going to go up to, because I've done a lot of trees. I've
A long-standing history of
tree production, guys.
trees.
I started off with the Woodland Cities armatures, and what I did was I used the Luke Towan's model railroad technique, whereas we were putting like sea moss on the edge of the branches and actually putting flock on there. Then I sort of got up to using
The sea moss is good.
Yeah, it's very fragile. That's the only problem. So
It is. Oh, okay,
yeah. So like I would coat the whole thing with like a varnish just to try to give it a bit more protection.
PGA too much?
Hey?
Oh, sorry. Oh, after you do it. Yeah. Sorry. To finish it, sort of. Yeah.
Yeah, to finish it to give a bit more. And then I I moved from just using flock and like your softer coarse turf to using the mini nature leaves that you could get. And then I changed from the sea moss because I felt like it was a bit fragile on Warhammer stuff. That's the other problem with doing it like that. I got like rubberized horsehair from the UK because there was another model where I read a book. I think it was Anthony Rees was talking about doing that. And then that gives you like a scaffolding once you've got the branches to like stick on your leaves and that kind of thing.
Rubberized horsehair.
Yeah, rubberized horsehair, and it actually works pretty well. So some of these are the ones on the right are all rubberized horsehair with the leaves on top, and then these guys are all.
You use that to make wigs, or
these are dead trees. Yeah, or it's an upholstery thing, so you use it to like stuff couches and that kind of thing too, which I quite liked. And then the next thing I was doing was, rather than using the Woodland Cities armatures, I was actually doing old style, wire, doing it by hand and like getting more variance in trunk size and that type of thing, and then using the rubberized horsehair with the leaves on it, and that was actually providing a pretty good result. That was pretty structurally sound. As well, it was okay being picked up and that type of thing as well.
You're not kidding us, Josh. You have quite the breadth of experience.
I wish I had some figures there to see exactly how big they are, but I'm assuming those bases are like what, 40s or something?
Yeah, those are 40 mil bases.
Yeah, okay.
So they average about 14, 15 centimeters high, these trees, I guess.
These are some cool trees.
Yeah.
So these, you just didn't do these. These have been around for ages. You've just got them in varying.
Yeah. No, these weren't from today.
Yeah.
These ones are having around to finishing. So, but they provided a good example of different stages. Because I do the art. I guess I should elaborate with those trees. Like I do the wire armature, and then I got this bark compound that you like stick on by hand, sort of to fill out the wire edges. So you can see one's had one layer, the other one on the right's got 2 layers.
Yeah, bark compound.
Which I think it was from Tree Mendus, which is like a UK website.
That's a cool name.
It's called Tree Mendus. Great.
We're gonna look that up.
That's so good.
So, and then I've got all these pine trees. Now these ones are my favorite ones because they actually are really quite resilient. Again, I was using Woodland Scenics armatures for these, but I actually was drilling holes to put in extra branches because the Woodland Scenics just didn't have enough branches and they were a bit too narrow, like not long enough. I mean, but then the way I was doing these ones was I get the armature ready with extra branches, and then I put a bit of hobby tack on the end of each branch, and then like coat it with some 7 mil. This is going to be a long story, guys. 7 mil static grass. So the branches are a little bit more fine. And then I'd spray just the edges of that with the spray adhesive. Hold on. I would then, once I've got those 7 mil static grass on, I would actually prime it all black. And then I would spray the edges with the adhesive, put some 4 mil like dark green pine static grass on the edge of that. And then I would actually put little bits of flock, like with more straight adhesive on top, with a few different shades of static grass too. So the ones at the bottom was a bit more yellow, strawy ones, and the ones at the top would be your sort of healthier green ones. So the layers of static grass it's actually very flexible, and it doesn't get damaged very easily. And yeah, it's pretty resilient. Now, where I'm going with this story is that just this week, I got a
Ooh.
3D scanned STL of a tree,
Jeebus.
which was so cool.
Mm.
This was a Kickstarter from like a month ago or so that finally released his files the other day. It's just this guy, I think he's in Hong Kong, Yan Lao, who's like, he's just been scanning like different trunks and like forest debris, like 3D scanning, and then releasing it on Kickstarter as an STL. So this is the first time he's done like an actual tree, and I'm so happy with like the foliage is so cool, it's so detailed, and it's resilient too. It's like it's just resin; it's not gonna like get damaged. You can like once you paint it, you just pick it up by the foliage, which is awesome.
Yeah.
The hard thing I found was printing it because the little supports, you know, there's lots of little supports between the little leaves, so it was a bit of work. Even I've done a bit of work trying to remove them even on this one, but you can still see there's quite a few of them. So I'm still trying to work out the best way of printing it. But I was actually, you can't even see underneath. Like, this tree is so detailed. I love it so much. But he said he's got plans to do more scanning of other, like he's going to do another Kickstarter in a few months of a bunch more 3D scanned trees, which I'm super excited about it because I know it's nice to get pre-painted terrain and it's easy to stick on the table, but I love spending time making this stuff. And if I've got like a photorealistic foliage that can sit on a tree like this, that's my dream.
Yeah,
that's my dream.
I would wonder how that painted will come up versus like your static grass one, which I don't know, you know what I mean? Like, would one look still more realistic?
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, it depends on how you paint it, I guess. I reckon the detail on this thing is incredible.
Yeah, right. It's hard. I mean, it's hard to see that there, I guess, at the moment. But like, obviously, it looks detailed, but not. Yeah.
It's. I think in person you probably get a better idea of it. Really, I think it's got a photo.
I do. I found it on Kickstarter. So the paint job, it looks good.
You can see the paint job.
I reckon
on the
your
Kickstarter.
conifer, whatever they were, look
the pine
better. The pine ones, yeah. Sorry, yeah, them.
Yeah.
I think they look more realistic.
But
I wouldn't
they're
say
pines though. Like
yeah,
the pines I can't go past, but the deciduous ones are more work, and they're the ones that I was always struggling to get a nice, realistic looking sort of canopy on top of. So those are the ones where I
also feel like you do a better, not that like you do a better paint job than what's on the site. I think it's quite like this is easy. Like you could contrast some of these and they'd come out pretty good.
Absolutely.
You could
have so much fun.
Yeah.
Because I would, I know what you mean. And I mean, I agree. I would get more work out of the layering and the detail that's in the structure in terms of highlighting it out and drawing it out. So yeah, I'm keen to do it.
Give it a go.
I like a good painted tree because it kind of adds like a lot of your terrain's painted. Obviously your mat's not, and then I don't know. I don't like it can look quite realistic. The other trees, like as in like the cannabis. What was the one you had? The long
pine tree.
Were they your pines?
Pine tree.
Yeah,
pine ones.
Sorry, I just looked like a big cannabis bud. But yeah, like they're sort of like between those and the other, they kind of just did. But between those and the other ones you had, they sort of, you know, like the aesthetic. Like for me, that would look awesome on like a model railway because, like, you know, model railways tend to have like a lot of flock, and it goes for that realistic sort of image. Whilst your painted kind of like fits in with, you know, the models are painted, the terrains sort of painted.
True.
But for me, that's like, I think on your table, Josh, it'd look really good because you have that fully flocked, realistic table, which was like next level. Like that was, I've never seen a table that detailed. I'm assuming that's what these were for, destined for that table, or
they were. They are. Well, that was what they were designed for. And you're right. It does fit with that aesthetic nicely. And yeah, I think like I find that I am using like on basing and stuff. Yeah, to that point, I am using more and more 3D printed plants because it does fit better with the painted mini. You know, like rather than using the Monorail style bushes and stuff on basing. Being able to, because now there's designs like that. I think Epic Basing, you've got a lot of designs now of little different tufts and stuff, and I've used quite a few of them on my Bretts. It ties it in much more nicely to the base. Like my Green Knight, that base was covered in 3D printed plants.
Yeah, and it looked good. Yeah. No, that's awesome. That's next level.
That. See how it goes. Yeah, I know what you mean about those like little bits of supports because I had the same thing with some palm trees I printed out. I still haven't painted them, but I should actually. But yeah, they were just like between them, the layers, they were a bit hard to break them all off. But that'd be even like 10 times worse by the look of it.
Oh, man, it's it's really annoying. There's just thousands of tiny little lines, and it's I've already put quite a bit of work in trying to get them all off, and they're still working. Still keep seeing more of them. So I've tried to redesign the supports, and I'm printing one now as we speak. So hopefully I'll get a better result.
Oh, were they pre-supported then? You just redid them, or
no?
Like? Oh, okay.
No support.
No
you had a little diagram about how to support them, like using auto supports and then deleting all the islands because there's so many little ends of the leaf that you kind of want to try to minimize it.
Right.
But yeah, it's not like, I mean, a lot of this stuff, I'm used to that though. I'm used to not having supports. And then to be honest, Gommo, most of the time, even if stuff I buy is pre-supported, I usually do my own supports anyway.
Wow.
It's
not there yet. Although a lot of the
Highlands rip stuff off the support.
Yeah.
Stuff is often over supported, and I'm just like, nah, there's too much work.
Too much. Yeah.
Let me do my own support so I can just pull them off without any effort.
Yeah.
Can I ask a question with support? So, like, obviously, when you do your apothecary mixture of, the hard resin versus soft resin, and you try and get that, it's not too brittle, mixture. But it's just if you go a little bit soft to make it more, the ability to
be more flexible.
Drop, more flexible. Does that then make the supports harder to snap off because it's more flexy, or not really?
No,
it's so thin it doesn't matter. No.
Okay.
Yeah,
doesn't matter at all.
Yeah, because where it attaches is thinner. Like they usually have a smaller bit attached to the model.
Yeah, I just didn't know if you guys kind of just
and like we're putting like 10% in or something, or
okay,
it's not a heap or something.
Yeah, it's actually a lot harder to, even with the same resin. Once it's cured, it's quite soft. Like any resin is softer before it's cured, and it's always easier to remove the support while it's softer pre-cure.
Right.
Just because of the way that it's, as Gommo said, the supports are designed. They've got a very narrow tip, which means they're designed to snap off at the point that they attach.
Yeah,
like I find the Highlands ones, I just pull them. They're so easy. Just put. Like, just depends on how much like how good the people are doing the supports are.
Yeah,
some of them aren't as good either. Like you're saying, like Andrew, like Josh is right. Some of them are like they get it's a pain in the ass, or like it's hard to break it out, or you almost feel like you're gonna snap the miniature. Then you got to break it off yourself manually with like little tweezers or something, like to reach in. One of them I was doing the other day. Who was that for? Can't remember, but it was heaps hard to like sort of get around it. Just the type of figure it is, but
it's mind-boggling.
When I get better with the doing them not autoed, I'll probably make it easier.
Auto support, yeah. Especially when you start doing those vampire counts.
Yeah. Maybe I'll do ogres before then or something. I don't know. No, I've got to do, I don't know. Who knows? Chaos first.
Yes.
At some point. I don't know when, but at some point.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that was my tree hobby.
Cool.
Who wants to go next?
I just realised like we totally, I don't know how, because I think things got moved around. Have not even done any news because there was actually news.
Oh.
Anyway, it's under the
coming.
Hobby section here.
It's on the run sheet. It's after hobby time, isn't it?
Yeah.
Did you not mean for it to be down
there? I don't know how it ended up there. I think one of our other topics must have basically been news, and that's why we talked about it. That's why I moved it down, and now it stayed there the whole time. Anyway, that's all good. I didn't have much. I'll promise I'll try and get more done now this week. I think I might get some painting done because I did. Oh, it's not in my browser, is it, idiot? Sorry, it's in my photo software. I just wanted to bring this up. Not that one. Stop screen. I should have done this. Should have prepped. Wish you could share multiple, like different windows. You know how last week we were talking about the spray?
Mm.
It's hard to see on this. Whoa, I just totally zoomed in. It's hard to see what this is, but because I didn't take a full picture. But anyway, I went through and used my airbrush to start zenitholing some of my wolf chariots. So you can't really see. I should have taken some actual pictures of them like further back. But sorry about that. I didn't. Or did I have one there? No, it doesn't matter. Anyway, so this one, just wanted to give you a bit of an idea. That was the sprayed one that I did with the rattle can.
Rattle can.
So it's zoomed in, so it's a bit ugly. But that's sort of that speckling that you were talking about. Andy.
Yeah.
And then I think this came out a bit cleaner. Like it's not as white. I need to do more white yet. And I didn't target with the airbrush. I didn't target, for example, this. This looks a bit speckly with this thing here, but it's not going to be zenitholed, like it's gonna be metal. So I was more trying around the fur and stuff. And I think it's. I mean, this is my first go with the airbrush, fiddling around with it. And I think, and it zoomed right in there, so it does look a bit shit, but it's. I think it's definitely smoother. Than what I had. So it'd be interesting to see how it goes with the contrast. The only thing I found is I started with a grey and then went up to white, but I never really cleaned my airbrush. So I think I need to do a final hit of white with just white because I feel like it's not as white as what I got with the skull white spray, which I think might make them slightly darker. I don't know. I'll play around with it. But
you might just have to do a little bit more, a slightly thicker layer. Another couple of sprays. Do you dry brush before you're going to hit that with contrast?
No, I wasn't going to. Yeah.
Especially the one with the rattle can primer. If you were to dry brush that with an off white or even a full white, I think that will help to reduce all the speckliness a lot.
Yeah, well, that might
it'll actually make it a lot more smooth.
Yeah,
so with the airbrush, I mean the rattle can one for sure. Yeah. Even the other one that's a bit duller than you want, you could totally just do a white quick dry brush and bring up the whites like that.
I just feel like I'd want to find somewhere I don't have to do 50 steps, and it's already annoying getting the dry
Sorry,
brush,
guys, I keep forgetting about.
Yeah, this is supposed to be fast, you know. Otherwise, I'd rather just go back to layer paints, just paint the freaking thing, you know.
No, that's the beauty of the dry brush. Like it's almost like a slap shop style, you know. Like you really get those contrast edges really high, so that when you hit it with the contrast, it actually just goes on really nice. You're getting your full highlights, and not having to. Because sometimes if you don't get it, if you don't have enough of the zenithal, you put on the contrast, and it seems to be dull.
Yeah. So do you think I should be still like zenitholing with some light, like, you know, the greys and stuff, but just don't worry about the final white and then just dry brush that? Is that what I mean? Like, don't try and get a full white with the airbrush.
Well, you could do either one. Yeah, but you could. As I'm saying, you could do that instead. Yes.
Yeah.
Are you going to
highlight? That's also the trap a bit. I think about using greys is you sort of. I don't know. You sometimes don't go as hard with the white once you've done the grey. Whereas I feel like if you're going black onto white, white on black, then you end up with a brighter
contrast. Yeah. So have you, when you're zenitholing, because it's an airbrush, there's no need to do you just use white? Is that what I've done wrong? Yeah. Okay. Maybe I should just try that because I've got 4 more of these to do. So
I used to use grey, and then I found that was just annoying, so I've ended up just going black white.
Yeah.
Although interestingly, I got some sort of slightly like buff. Is that the word? Like it's a warm sort of sandy color. Because I just my whites and the black was always very cool, and I didn't really like it. So I've actually added a little bit of the sort of this yellowy sort of sandy ochre color into the white, just so it's a bit more of a warm white. I think.
Well, I've done that. I mean, I've done that with the rattle can a lot, where I've actually use like Xandri dust and stuff instead of white and things like that.
Oh, instead
But,
of white with
yeah,
the rattle can. Yeah, yeah.
depending on what I'm painting. But yeah. Yeah, cool. Okay, well, I'll keep battling away at it. But I will start
I've had
painting
an
some of them
idea.
just to see what it does.
Yeah.
Sorry to interrupt, Gommo. We should do a little special on painting, Josh, Gommo, and myself, and we'll try like we'll have a time limit. So you go, all right, you can have a model, you can give it an hour and a half, 2 hours versus half an hour. So you can do like all your Zenithal, you can do all these like, you know, whatever you want
Would
to
you
do.
mean like,
So
but one of you
extend
do, one of
lives.
us does half hour, one of us does an hour, one
No,
of us does like
no.
a day?
We do both. We just so we can get like a
Ah,
broad
but the
spectrum.
same model. So you
The
choose
same model,
something
the
in your
exact same model,
collection. Okay,
and then
yeah,
you
yeah,
just see like, well, what's the difference? So you're gonna
yeah.
spend
And it's
an
your own
extra,
skill level against your own
Yeah,
skill
yeah.
level. Yeah, okay.
Oh, I
Exactly.
see what you're saying.
So you can
Yeah,
have
yeah.
like 20 minutes of Zenithal fucking around versus
Well, it's
you
got to
know, just
include
a quick
set
slap
up and
chop.
tear down that as well.
Yeah.
Of
And then
whatever
at the
you're
end of it,
using.
you're like, well, what's the difference between these two? This is like 2 hours. This is my
That's a good point.
slap chop.
Mm,
I reckon that'd be a good episode.
yeah.
Yeah,
Let
we
us
should
know.
just.
be
Let us
funny.
know in the comments.
Yeah,
I
well,
think,
if anything, I agree. Let's get some feedback. I reckon the figure is sort of important too, because you want to have ones that, you know, suit
Yeah.
that type of thing as well. So pick something that's
Oh,
a bit,
yeah.
you know, just make it easier for us, like something that's maybe got a, you know, bit of fur, bit of this, bit of whatever. Just
Yeah.
so we're painting the
not
right
just
thing. But yeah, that'd be interesting.
goblin.
Probably has to
goblin
be like
marker.
infantry, because we'd need something that,
Yeah.
you have multiple versions of it.
Yeah. But something, The
Oh, we can
difference
print stuff
between a
out, so
slap
it's
chop
fine.
and putting all this effort in, like what's the?
Can Josh do that though, or can he only ever do?
I don't know. I reckon he could do a slap chop. I reckon it'd surprise himself.
Totally do a slap shop. Yeah. I'm capable of that. Although I thought Slapshop was involving a Zenithal Prime, by the way. Or are you saying Slapshop is just black and then dry
No.
brushing
You
white?
can do a Zenithal Prime, but you can do like a quick and dirty. So you're not going to do like airbrush and all that. You can just do like quick rattle can. We'll have to come up with some parameters. So like it's got different dry times and see what we can come up with.
It's and I know like we're talking a lot about here about the prime of it. At the same time, I think it comes down to with your thing, Andrew, I feel like it's more like, it's not just that. It's also like one of the things might be, you know, your cheap one might be, or your fast one might be the slap like spray, one coat of contrast pretty much, and maybe whatever.
Very
and then
quick highlight.
basic
Or
done.
dry brush.
Like basically, versus you know, a better zenithal, like a, you know, some contrast.
Exactly.
And there might even be, if you've got enough time, you might not even use any of it. You might paint it normally, lay it. Like it almost like see what it looks like, painting the different styles. Be pretty cool. And how long it takes, obviously.
Yeah, we'll give ourselves some time limits to try and adhere to. Then let the artist produce.
Let's do
pick a model.
4th, 5th edition Ironbreaker models. So they're just all silver, basically.
Silver, yeah.
Yeah, they're tiny.
Terrible.
Yeah. Just different color beard.
Yeah, that's right. Slayers. Oh, they're a Slayer.
Slayers are hard.
Yeah, well, you're probably not using a lot of. Well, they're hard to do some of that flesh. Anyway, cool. I like that. That's good.
Yeah. All right. Sorry, I interrupted you.
Nah, it's all related.
Right. Where were you up to?
I'm done. That's it.
He's done.
I feel bad now. I feel like I've taken away.
That was totally topicked.
No, that was good. Yeah, that was fun.
All right. Well, on that note, I suppose on the last one left. So, Project X-Ray Zulu ZX. Sorry, it's taken a little hiatus. So,
hiatus. Oh no.
And do we know what that one is, or I'm confused which project?
I don't think he's going to announce it. He's just going to put on hiatus.
Okay. So that is one that we don't know.
I think people know what's going on. Anyway, I got distracted.
Okay.
I've been doing some playing around just because we had that game the other day, and then I'm so close to this list that I've been thinking about for ages. And I opened a box and I found the minis that I wanted. So I'm like, all right, I'm just gonna smash out some minis.
Is this
Wait,
one of these
did
hard
you know
ass
you had
lists
these
that you wanted
minis?
to test out? Is that what you're saying?
I want to test it out. I've got. I think I know it's going to be shit, but I just want to test it out because I think it does possibly have some potential. Surely
Cool.
people have thought about it previously.
Right.
Yeah, one's the Thunderstar and one's a VC list, and I've got a bunch of these little boys and girls that I'm currently putting together.
Okay.
So this is Project V that I'm currently working on.
Right.
So that's a little, yeah. So I've already got some of them. But yeah, I just want to see how these go versus the Bretonian Knights. There's massive limitations.
Oh,
with
so you
these
wouldn't be
versus-
playing that against me then, because I don't have Brett's.
No. As in like as a something of a similar role to a
Right.
Brett Knight. Because they're skirmishers, they fly, they're frenzied, and they don't have a cool save, but they do have quite a few attacks.
Yeah.
But they're a little bit more expensive. So I want to see the flying horde, how it performs.
Right. So you're talking
On
about
the
peg
battlefield.
knights.
Yeah, it's the vampire
Not
peg
just
knight.
regular knights.
Mm,
But like,
yeah.
Suddenly peg knights are like emblematic for everything that's Bretonian.
Yes.
Cool.
Yes.
Well, we might get a game Thursday. We'll see how we go.
Well, hopefully, yeah. And I got the Thunderstar. Thank you, Ben, as well, that I want to try out on Thursday. So I'm madly trying to get these guys painted up. And I've got my Thunderstar list that I want to get out for dwarves. So
Thunderstar. So is Thunder?
Thunderstar.
Is that like?
I'm
are they
intrigued to see how
thunder
big this
the
is.
dudes? Is that like massive? What are they not? What are they called? Not quarrelers. What are they called? Thunder. What's the
Thunderers.
dudes with the guns?
Thunderers?
Thunderers. Okay, so it's them, but it's a massive.
I stole.
beast.
Sorry, I was inspired by Ben. He called it the Thunderstar. I'm like,
Yeah,
he had a
like that
similar
idea.
list. Well, no, the bones of it were a similar
Fuck it,
flavor.
I'm bringing 190 skeletons then. Nah, just kidding.
One
You might
massive
have
block.
Thunderstar.
Nah, there's
you
no
might
way I
have
can put that in
Vamps.
Thirsty Gaming.
We'll
That'd
see.
be
We'll see what
embarrassing.
happens on Thursday.
Yeah.
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 Anyway, that's me.
I like it.
Mm.
So that's all the hobby.
News?
Yeah, news. We had two
The
pieces
latest
of
news ever.
which I can't remember when we talked about it or not. No, I don't think we did. So we had the preview come through, and I've got to keep switching my screen because I keep going between photos and browser. We had the come up, bring it up. I should get you to add my screen in when I'm fiddling around. We had I'll go to the bottom first because this came out on socials first, which was there is another preview show coming up this Friday/Saturday in Australia, where they are doing old world reveals. So hopefully we see some Empire. 5 a.m. Sydney time in Australia. So it's probably more for the international listeners, but I don't know. I might be up doing a live reaction video if I get up. Should be cool. Are you guys expecting anything
early.
crazy, or do you reckon? Do you reckon we'll see the new Empire? Because they've said there is new
captains?
figures, so surely we will now.
Yeah,
just wondering
you
though.
reckon come up at Christmas they're gonna drop a few hints?
Yeah. When did?
Keep
They're not going to
the
release
fire
it before Christmas, though, are they? Wouldn't
No,
it be
but
January?
remember they did like the dwarf reveal, and then it took like 2 months until it came out.
Oh yeah, that took ages.
Yeah, that's true.
So I wonder if they will, like, because that was my prediction a little bit that Empire's coming out first thing, so we might actually start seeing some of that, wave one and what they're bringing out, plus some of the new figures. And I don't expect there'll be a lot of new. It might just be new character or something like that, but who knows? That's what I think that's what I'm saying is going to be there, but who knows? Anyway, keep an eye out on that if you haven't seen that. And then
That will
the
be
other
cool.
news, it's not really news, I guess. I just wanted to bring up that the Slaves to Darkness stuff for AOS is all coming out. I think this mustn't have been all out. Is that right? Do you guys follow this at all?
Not really.
Because the only reason I bring it in, there's some pretty cool stuff that I think you'll see pop up on old world tables. Like this sorcerer looks
Oh,
pretty
yeah.
cool.
That is pretty cool.
This guy,
it's got the
depending
right
how
aesthetic.
big this guy is, because he doesn't, he's probably not. He's
Abraxia.
probably big, but he's probably not big, so I'm not sure. But if you whack some wings on this thing, it looked like a pretty cool looking different type of dragony thing.
Yeah, not even just throw it out like that. That's dragonish.
Isk, dragon-ish, yeah.
Esque.
Plus, I mean, look, the other thing is he looks freaking cool. So put him on another dragon
Yeah.
as well. Like sometimes even the 3D dragons, there's some really good ones, but the models are never chaos enough. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
So maybe that could be something would be interesting to see how hard. Usually, Games Workshop end up putting the legs all in the actual figure and all that.
Yeah,
stuff,
it's
but-
so annoying.
I
yeah.
was thinking
I
that might be
hate
the
how they
case.
do that.
Yeah, but anyway, that's something that's came out, and then the Spearhold, this whole box is out
Yeah.
too. I thought it was already out, but maybe I'm wrong. I don't know, but
They are cool. reckon
I
they're
think
awesome.
they were out for that pre-launch, and then if you didn't get the pre-order, you're sort of a bit screwed. But these figures are awesome. They're going to be expensive, but if you're thinking of running, those Marauder list, I'm pretty sure
Yeah.
you'll see a lot of these guys if people want to spend the money on them, and they do look cool. So. Just thought I'd bring it up because I know it's AOS, but
Yeah, they're
it's sort of
they're heaps
related.
better than Marauders compared to the Mad Max S&M style sort of Marauders they currently got.
Yeah, no, that's right. Actually, did you guys get the Games Workshop emails as well? Are you subscribed?
No.
Oh, okay. Because interestingly, it might have been Thursday. The whole email that was something about old rivalries fighting or something, and the whole thing was just orcs and dwarfs, and it was just all the orc range and the dwarf range for old world. I thought it was funny. There was no new stuff in it. It was just promoting war, but it was good to get an email that
just
was
an email about it.
yeah, just promoting
Just
old world.
telling you
I thought that
about
was
it.
pretty good. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Probably not newsworthy, but it was just interesting that at least they were throwing it a bone a little bit. So,
Yeah.
cool. Who
Yeah,
wants to intro the
look forward
topic? Because
to
I think we're just up to that now.
The topic. Oh yeah, there's a main topic for this show, isn't there?
Yeah.
Oh, we're up to that
We
now.
shouldn't call them main topics anymore, right? Because they're not really.
The minor topic. Last half hour.
The tail end of the show.
Yeah.
Where are we? What was I up to? Need to get my rule book out.
Oh, well, basically, it came about because Jelly, well, I think this is how it came about. Jelly, one of our patrons, now, I can't, correct me because I only skimmed it. Did he
I've
nearly
got it.
win have you got his quote? What he said?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think it was well up again in his game on was it an S-Bot game? I can't
Yeah.
know if it was for sure or not. But it was about giving ground. Because he realized that giving ground you don't simply just back up 2 inches, you must set it a center back up 2 inches. Because I think his story was at the end of turn 3 he'd wiped most of the Chaos Army and not lost a unit. He just had his Lord and the Sorcerer left. And he pushed up his massive Archer block a little bit, but did not pivot in case he didn't finish off his models in the front. Assuming even with a rear charge, he would be able to challenge, push, revive the dragon for a good few turns, but not enough to impact the game. However, when the dragon charged, it was more on the inside of the unit than the central of the unit, and therefore when he gave ground with the Archer unit, it was pushed diagonally off the board.
And you'd be a bit pissed when you don't know that. And it's not his fault. Like, fucking hell, the examples in the book, I'm trying to find it. It's just bullshit.
Are they?
Well, that was one of mine that I was going to get into.
The center to center give ground?
Well,
with the directions.
Directly away from the enemy without turning, pivoting, or otherwise turning its facing in any way.
But it still measures as center to center. Oh my god!
Yeah, so this is the thing. It's just
when it gives ground in this way, it must move as directly as possible away from all enemy units engaged. Directly away from single enemy units. Then
can I just intro the topic quickly if people didn't jump onto it? In that it's no, because I think it's fine what you're saying, but I feel like what this led to is what are the types of rules that we think we got right, but maybe we don't type thing, or that people are getting wrong. And it is cool to see even people as good as like Jelly, like this game is. And is it the game that's complex? Is it the rule writing's a bit, meh sometimes? So we thought that was why we wanted to bring some of these up. Sorry, so keep going, Andrew, just in case people were wondering what we're diving straight into.
Oh yeah, it's only if there's 2 units. Do you say there was 2 units?
No, just one. And I think that's the biggest thing, isn't it? And I think that's what people have been doing, because most of the time you push back. The only time they talk about not going directly back was this thing, but then when you actually read the rules.
Yeah, but it's in the definition of directly towards and directly away. That's where the surprising bit is, because in that area
doesn't talk about multi-route ones. It just says that's just.
Well, it says without turning, pivoting, or otherwise turning its facing in any way.
No, but in the general principles thing, it's a unit may be required to move directly towards or directly away from another unit or object. To do so, draw an imaginary line between the center of the moving unit and the center of the unit or object moving towards or away from. As unit moves, the center moves along this line. So
and this is the problem here, that they continually give us diagrams with everything not neatly lined up, which shits me to tears. But you could still, this is the thing, it's a weird movement that we haven't seen. Like you would move, you're not pivoting, you would just literally move the unit sideways and everyone would move like, diagonally sideways. So you're technically not pivoting.
So it's more that if there was only one unit, but that unit wasn't directly aligned, that's I think it's where the confusion is. Like if that orc unit at the top was like offset
like just
by
three models, like say it was 3 models. Josh killed himself. I don't know what happened there. It's this way. Now the thing is, when you see this arrow here, I don't think this is.
That's the 2 models. Sorry, that's
where it
the
gets
2
weird,
units.
because it's like, where do you? But like, how does this get? How does the figure 155.1 get interpreted if you still had the other model unit here, but you had that massive offset as well? Like, how do you, how do you work that out?
Yeah, because this is where I was gonna. So that was the rules people were getting wrong. Is the flea is away from the biggest unit, whereas give ground, it doesn't mention the biggest unit. If you're engaged on 2 flanks, you go diagonal no matter what the size is of either unit. You could have a single model and you still go diagonal.
But what diagonal? Is it perfectly diagonal or is it center to
center?
Well,
So it's just at other times, especially if unit is engaged in 2 adjacent arcs, for example, a unit has been charged in both front and flank. This will cause a unit to move diagonally away from 2 or more enemy units.
Yeah, like it's cool, but that's not defined anywhere what that even means. Like, because diagonal.
They're just sort of. But like it's. I know that's probably where I was going to come in.
But again, when they say move diagonally away, I mean the closest you see is this directly away. Right back in the movement thing, and you could argue that. I mean, it's hard to do this without other diagrams, isn't it? But if you imagine that this orc unit,
I know what
unit was only like
away.
one model and one model.
So unit's not changing its pivot or face; it's just moving away in the I understand.
I think what he was saying, and I probably had thought that initially too, that. And we do this all the time, probably. Like if you didn't have this C unit here, it was just A and B, everyone just moves back and forward.
Yeah.
But unless you are like mostly the same size, that's not like width, then that's technically not true. You're supposed to go diagonally still. Whereas, it's just bad. It's just tight. They just need to tighten these things up. And if I could give it, and I know it makes it slightly more complicated, but I feel like it could have been in the oddball section if they don't want to scare people off in this section. But like, you should don't do diagrams that are all lined up. It's just not real. And it just, one simple picture can solve so many things.
Well, it could explain 2 or 3 different circumstances.
Yeah, exactly.
Just with a single picture, like you could have you know, it's off to the side, and it's like, well, this is a bigger unit, or you know, it's it's one of those, But yeah, that was mine. Was basically a lot of people I've seen, and I have done it previously. Was go away from the biggest unit strength unit.
Yeah, with
For
the
a
good
give
ground.
ground.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah,
Cool.
no, that's very
So it is
interesting.
related to this one. Yeah. Sorry, Josh.
Yeah.
Is your camera screwed? Is it, man?
Yep.
Yeah.
I'd have
Oh,
to
okay.
leave to. I think I have to leave it and go back in again to get it working.
Yeah.
That'll be annoying, I think.
Yeah.
Sounds
good.
As long as you can hear me.
Yeah, no, that's disappointing with Jelly's one. Like, I can definitely see that. But yeah, that's really getting in depth, isn't it? If you're going to be saying, directly away, you're still going to be, your facing is going to be the same, but you're still, you're moving in a diagonal.
Which should be less than 2 inches then suddenly as well. Like if you're moving diagonally away 2 inches, you're not actually, you won't have a 2-inch gap between the two units.
How do you work out the 2-inch gap then? Like, how does that even work? Like, what is it? Is it 2 inches still? Like, do you move perfectly 2 inches away to the closest part, which is actually moving more than 2 inches, or is it less? Or
nah, it was
or because it's center to center, and you measure. I don't know.
You're just measuring the 2 inches at the center. Like, what are you?
I like this give ground stuff, but now I'm starting to think it's just, I don't know. It's almost like I'd rather just almost the fall back in good order a little bit, because that was just a normal flea move type thing. Except the imaginary, you should roll the dice and do all the 8th edition sort of, if you roll a high enough, you just catch them. You don't have to do all that other crap. Anyway, I won't get in. That's a different topic. But changes. But cool.
Yeah.
Did you have one, Gommo, you wanted to hit?
Well, I've only got one, and I brought it up a couple of times, and I still can. And maybe it's just me thinking it is a bigger thing than it is, but it's the maneuver section. I thought to bring it up in. Okay, I've got the rule book up now. I might as well bring it up in that. What page is it? Does it say page 124? It's just the idea that you can only do one maneuver. And what is a maneuver? And there is a caveat, so we'll just get that. But there's 6 type of maneuvers you can do: wheel turn, move backwards, move sideways, redress ranks, reform. During its movement, a unit can only perform a single maneuver. So now wheel is the exception, that if you're not charging, you can perform wheels more than once, right? But that's still a maneuver. So if you turn, you can only move forward. You can't wheel. Like if you turn, you can't move and wheel, because that's 2 maneuvers, which I think people probably do wrong sometimes. Not a lot, but probably a little bit.
I think you're
same
right.
as move backwards, move sideways. Again, you can't do anything. If you redress ranks, again, you can only move forward. If you reform, you can only move forward.
Right.
There is no wheeling after the fact. And that's the thing I think people would get wrong. They probably think I can wheel because I can wheel multiple times.
And then
you can only wheel multiple times if the only thing you do is wheel. Now, there is other caveats. Of course, if you're open order, you get a free pivot at the end of your move. If you're lumbering, you get a free pivot if you haven't marched. So there is a way to move more than, just straightforward. But in terms of these movements, it can be a little bit restrictive. And I think if you don't, it's not restrictive, but I think there'll be the odd circumstance where you'll notice you either did it wrong or someone else did it wrong. Usually around turns, but even potentially like, swing around, do a reform and move and just do a little bit of a wheel, if you're trying to get an archer in range or something like that. And you can't, I guess.
I think that's a really big thing. I think like you said, a lot of people would turn or redress the ranks or something and possibly get a little
Yeah, like just even
Yeah.
turn. Like people do that a
Yeah,
lot
yeah.
where they just go, "Oh, I'll just move it this way a bit to get my vision arc out." It's like, yeah, but you
Yeah,
just turned.
exactly.
You can't move it at all anymore. Now, of course, if you open order, you can, but because you just
Yep.
pivot. But yeah,
Yeah.
I think that's just a bit stricter than what we're used to. I can't remember what 8th was, but yeah.
Nah, I think that's a really good point.
The only other
Josh.
thing I thought too is obviously if you've got a free redress ranks with pivot, then again that's free. So I'm assuming you can redress ranks at any time when you've got a drilled move. So you can still be wheeling and then do your redress and then keep going, stuff like that. Yeah.
Nah, yeah, I reckon that's, like you said, it's something that you're probably going to see, especially in a tournament with 5 or 6, games.
It's probably on those edge cases where someone's trying to maximize or like get a vision arc set up.
Just try and get a bit more of an advantage. So it's like,
shooting,
shooting, like you said, I'm going to try and get into, short range, but I need to wheel to maximize plus possibly,
make my ranks a bit bigger.
Exactly.
You can't do both. Yeah.
No, it's definitely.
Can I bring up one that Sean was talking about?
Well, now your mic's totally different too, but yes, you can.
Is it?
Yeah. It's like you're echoing in a big room. It still sounds, it's fine. People will hear you.
Sounds okay?
Yeah.
Not disastrous?
No, it's all good.
All right. So yeah, he was saying that he recently learned that if any part of your single model unit is in the front arc, it is automatically a frontal charge.
So
not just whatever arc the majority of the model. It's in the charge section. It's in 127.
Oh, okay.
Page.
Cool. Next page.
For a single model unit.
Yeah.
Oh,
and it's really under single model unit, like a dragon, that kind of thing.
Yep.
And it's really under resolving uncertainties is where the rule is. Where sometimes the charging unit will shuttle through arcs. In such cases, count how many models are in the front rank of the charging unit that lie within each arc. If there are more models in one arc, the unit is considered to be in that arc. If it's still unclear, the charging unit is considered to be in the arc that gives it the least advantage in terms of combat result.
Yeah.
So ergo.
Oh, so you're saying single models need to be fully in the other arc.
Yeah.
Yeah.
According to the rules.
Yep. Okay.
Yep. By definition.
Cool. No, I like that.
Goes for the flank and rear as well, I guess.
Yeah. If you're in the rear, you have to be fully in that rear. If you're touching that line, then it's deemed least advantageous to go on the flank than the rear.
I mean,
okay.
Yeah, it is a nice nerf, I guess, out of sense, but I think it's not a very good rule. It really should be the majority of the model, shouldn't it be?
It used to be that it was like the front.
Used to be
you
that.
just looked at how far if it was a 50 mil base, then 25 mils had to be more. Like that type of thing, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Like 26
it was like a majority.
One arc. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it was based on the front edge of the thing, not the base overall. Is that right? Like in 8th?
Yeah, I think in 8th it was the front edge of it.
Yeah.
Rather than the whole base.
Yeah.
I'm still like, oh, hang on. Oh, but you're saying single model into.
Yeah. So, for example, see that guy in the front there. This is probably a bad example, but see that guy there, C?
Yeah.
The middle guy in the front rank of unit C.
Yeah.
If he was just by himself, if he's back, even his back there is touching, he's in that front arc of that other unit. He's technically in the front. Yeah. Even though he's mostly in the flank.
You'd have to, sorry. Yeah, I'll get what you're saying now. Yeah.
Which is a pretty silly rule.
Yeah, if you're a quarter versus 3/4, and you're like, nah, you're in my flank, not my rear.
Yeah. Then suddenly you're automatically in the front.
Now, sometimes I wonder if they were describing it how they wanted to say in 8th, but just the way they described it, they inadvertently did it different. I don't know. Sometimes I get a bit.
Well, that's what I wonder. Yeah, I agree. I feel like this is an unintended rules change in a way.
Yeah.
Like that effect on single models probably was not what they were. I think they were just trying to make it so that if it's a line ball decision in a unit,
Yeah.
it's a less advantageous one, which is fine. But
Yeah.
when you're
And we've
judging it by model rather
For a
than
big
area
block
of
versus a big
base,
block. Yeah.
yeah, I'm pretty sure we've used that, Andrew, just resolve it because I knew that rule. Like, you know, usually when it's just 50-50, like if you can't work it out or it's so close, generally we've just gone, oh well, you have to do the least advantageous. But
which is totally fine, and I think
Yeah.
that's a reasonable way of doing it. Absolutely.
Yeah.
If it's not a clear
I
advantage,
would
you shouldn't take
say
that
least
advantage.
advantageous or dice roll, as long as you're doing the same thing over.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll be happy in a tournament if they're like, no, you shouldn't get an advantage. I'll be like, yeah, that's fair.
Yeah. I agree.
Got another one, Andrew, do you?
Yeah, so for me, I was just going to go through with you guys. I know a lot of people know this as well, but it was just going to be the pursuit move, how that works, particularly if you got 2 units. So we're going on page 156, and what you guys think of it as well. So basically, if you flee, obviously, as discussed before, you're going to, when you flee from the highest unit strength unit, which could put you in a worse situation, especially obviously if you've got somebody in the front and the flank.
Yeah.
So yeah, this is what we were discussing the other day, Gommo.
Yeah.
So
I should have really had a diagram up here. Sorry.
Yeah, well, that's the problem. There's no real sort of diagrams here, which is sort of one of those things. But you just imagine, you know, like similar to the diagram that we had up before on 155, you can basically use that as sort of the crux or whatever of what you're doing or what I'm trying to explain here. But when you pursue, so the unit is going to flee from the largest unit, but the largest unit might not be in the best position to actually catch the unit that you're chasing. And you could use this from a strategic point of view as well. But basically, the pursuing unit makes a pursuit move. So you got to pivot it about its center. Now, the pivoting doesn't matter if it overlaps a unit. So they're not going to sort of get in each other's way. So that it's facing directly towards the enemy that it's pursuing. And then obviously you make your pursuit roll of 2d6. And this roll, the result of this roll is the distance in each is that the pursuing unit moves towards the pursuer. But the interesting thing here is because you're going from the largest unit strength, if the person in the flank or, you know, possibly wherever you're going to be, especially if you're a long unit, you could end up being a couple of inches closer to the unit fleeing than the larger unit strength. And the other thing I found as well, which I think a lot of people aren't doing, is basically if you go into the overrun and how that works is you actually, when you pursue, you need to select one at a time on who actually pursues. So you don't roll both pursuits and say, oh, one catches you sort of thing. You need to select which one is actually going to be pursuing. So you could have a really bad roll on one and he's going to end up blocking your second pursuit
exactly.
unit. So you got to be really careful in how you do these. So like you said, it's fantastic that Gommo is just doing some ad hoc. If you have quite a large unit, and obviously you can see the single, the single model or the single character per se could be 2 inches closer in his pursuit move to the unit, where his final position is compared to the first unit.
So this guy, the yellow, will always flee from the big unit.
Correct.
Center to center.
Mostly flee that way, wouldn't he? And then you're saying this guy now only needs to go that far to catch him. Yeah.
But you could have quite a long unit.
Oh, yeah. This guy could be now.
Flank, and now his center's, all the way out there.
If he's
and
like
then
that.
he turns around to face the unit, and he's a hell of a lot closer than the other unit.
Yeah. So now when
Um,
he does,
He would
Yeah.
pivot, wouldn't he? He'd pivot on the spot.
Because remember back in the day, it'd just be a dice roll off on sort of,
Yeah.
who had the larger number. Whereas now it's, which I think is actually pretty cool, is you physically need to touch the model.
Yeah. That's his center or roundabout.
Yeah.
He's only having to go that far.
Yeah. And the way I've done it and the way I've seen quite a few other people do it is they just roll, they roll them all and then they kind of just try and move them both together, or else it doesn't really work like that. It's you nominate your first pursuit, he goes, and then obviously your second pursuit, and then he sort of goes.
Yeah.
So if your
Just
first
gotta
pursuit
think-
doesn't get it, then the second one does, but the first one's in the way. Is that?
Yeah, so this is what would
a thing
happen
that
if
happens?
this. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. So if this transparency one did move
Yeah.
first, but didn't roll high enough and it ended here, and then this guy was also going to pursue, and he turns and pivots, and then he moves, he goes bang, and he's stuck with his own dude.
Yeah, I was trying to get the actual. It's in one of these in here. Yeah, you nominate one, and basically, he moves first.
Which is pretty punishing. Like if you're in a situation where you've managed to outflank someone, you've got 2 units in their side, like to miss out on running them down. Oh,
yeah. So here you go. Yeah, so a unit that won a combat can pursue a single losing unit that falls back in good order or flees. If there is more than one losing unit, the pursuing unit must declare which of it is pursuing before any flee rolls are made. Once all the losing units have completed their moves, pursuit moves are made one at a time in an order chosen by the controlling player. And then, there's basically unable to move. So a unit is unable to complete its chosen move due to the presence of friendly units of terrain. So the unit moves as far as possible before halting. So basically, if one goes and it doesn't go the whole way, the other one, the reform, the pivot is
free.
It says with pivot, it's free, and you can pivot on top of another unit because that's not where you're going to end up. So it doesn't matter if you're kind of on top of each other. You just pivot one and then just move it. Yeah.
No, that's right. The pivot never gets in the way. It's just that. But roll one, move it, roll one, and that's why it's important. And I think that's again, it's sort of related, but sort of not. Like, it's really important to not like when you're breaking or even if you're blown up, is don't take the model off yet. Like, keep this. Don't even move this unit yet. Do your panic tests and all that crap because it's broken. Then roll. Then obviously, who's going to chase? You've got to do all that stuff. Then you roll him. And then you know what order they're in as well and just go one at a time. So, but I think in old school, especially 8th, because everything was just down to dice rolls, it was pretty easy to go, you're broken, just roll. Like,
it was very clean.
Yeah, because there's a good chance you could have a bad roll and then all of a sudden the second unit's blocked and it's like...
Yeah, exactly. And unless they can still do it, for example,
if they're flying,
if they're flying or something, they can get over stuff.
Well, true.
Yeah. Cool. Was there another one from the that we need to cover?
There was one more. I'll just quickly do this one as well, which is a challenge refusal rules. And it's just about whether or not you can refuse a challenge if you only have 1 rank. Which is very ridiculous. And it does look like it's a reasonable thing that you can. You can just be moved out of the fighting rank, I guess. Because
basically create rank.
A
second rank. Okay.
Yeah, if you decline the challenge, the issuer of the challenge can nominate 1 character or champion that could have accepted it, and they have to retire from the combat. And the retiring means they move through the ranks to take up a position away from the fighting rank. They can't make any attacks or be attacked, and they don't give any special rule or leadership benefits or anything like that. And they can no longer participate in that combat for the remainder of that.
Is there a number of models?
Still engaged. Does that mean if you give ground, you still can't? Because it says they can't return to the fighting rank whilst their unit is still engaged with the enemy model that issued the challenge.
Yeah, I think so.
But if they fell back in good order, he could come in.
No, because that's I don't know. Isn't that still
Is that still
ongoing?
the same? That's the same combat, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so they couldn't. They missed like that. But yeah. So anyway, sorry, that was unrelated. But yeah, moves through the ranks to take up a position away from the fighting rank. Like, I feel like there is space there that you can just be moved into a second rank all by himself.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah.
Is that you can only do it? Can you only refuse the challenge if there's more than 5 models or something?
I don't think there's any rule about that.
I thought there was. Oh, keep going. I'll have a look. Is that 209?
It's 210. 210 is where the refusing a challenge is, and I don't see anything about unit size in there whatsoever. I'd be interested to see what the 8th ed rules actually are, to be honest. I can find them pretty quickly.
Yeah, nowhere to run.
Nowhere to run? Where's that?
Sometimes the challenge is simply impossible to refuse.
Oh, sorry, the next page. Yep. Yeah, go for it.
Oh, no, sorry. Hang on. Nah, yeah, if they're the last remaining model in a unit, So what? If you have one model in a unit, you're just going to hide behind him.
The one other model.
So that's funny. So if you've got a character or 2 characters, like a character and a normal unit, dude, like 2 left, one's character, and you retire, you basically start conga lining. Does that mean also that now they're in marching column, so they can't pursue or something? I don't know. Get weird. I don't know.
Yeah, that is a bit weird.
It's actually very similarly phrased in the 8th ed book. Because the 8th ed book it's got a similar nowhere to run, nowhere to hide rule. The character can't refuse a challenge if his model cannot be placed so he's not in base contact with the enemy model. This most commonly happens if a lone character is subject to a challenge or if his unit is small and engaged on all fronts, so every model in the unit is in base contact with the enemy. Oh. But the way they've written that, it doesn't sound like he can just like make a new formation by putting him out the back of the unit either.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not by himself, but if he's
not
in
by
a
himself.
unit. Yeah.
He's supposed to be swapped. So in the 8th ed book, I think it's very like he's swapping with another model.
Yeah.
But don't they also make a comment about that it's sort of virtual in 8th, that you don't actually have to move the characters and stuff? Especially with the challenge, like when you actually take it, you don't have to take the troops out. I thought it was
like don't have to be in base contact. Just part of the unit that is fighting a challenge. If for whatever reason you can't move base contact, assume they're in base contact. Yeah. So it is in the 8th ed book. And
is there any other?
Okay.
Are we still? Is that still confusing or not really? It's just that it sounds
I'm going to keep going back ever further back in your editions because in the 6th ed book it just says he's placed at the back of the formation if he refuses.
Right.
So I feel like you're not making a new formation. You're just like. And in the 8th ed book,
you're moving through the ranks, so you might have to look up a definition of what's moving through the ranks. Like you're not, like you said, you're not creating a new fucking formation.
You move through the race position away from the fighting. Yeah, I feel like
there is a moving through the ranks here.
There's a precedent from previous editions. But... Yeah, because the way that's written in the old world book, where you can only refuse it. I mean, you can't refuse it if you're not part of a unit or if you're engaged on all 4 arcs, which is ridiculous.
Yeah.
Whereas the 8th book does say that, but then it caveats the engaged on all fronts by saying so that every model in the unit is in base contact with the enemy. So you can still have you know, you can definitely have situations where every model unit is in base rank with the enemy and only be engaged in one arc.
Division.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a bit.
Nice.
Yeah, that's a bit funny, isn't it? It's a bit shit. Yeah, I think that's right. But yeah, it's a bit. Yeah, it's one of those things.
Yep. Right. I don't think we're going to get much more clarity by trying to read service.
Yeah. You're literally running. Yeah, doing whatever you want.
Mm.
I have a question for you with
Okay.
overruns and pursuits and pursuing into a new enemy or possibly overrunning into the enemy you wanted. So if somebody flees and there's another unit in the way and you're pursuing, or when I say there's another unit in the way, there's another enemy unit that you would make contact with, but you have enough movement to reach the original person who fled, but you're a flyer. Would you fly over the unit to contact the person that fled, or would you pursue into a fresh enemy?
I think you can fly over, but I don't know. I know that was one that people were saying it might need FAQ'd, but
yeah. I was thinking that a little while ago. I'm like, how does that work?
Because I think you look at the.
You can choose to fly, don't you?
Yeah.
Oh, but just if it gives you like more movement, I suppose. Oh well, yeah, you're true because you don't have to. You don't have to fly, do you? Because your pursuit moves not linked to. Yeah, but if you wanted to, because fly says that you can go over models.
Yeah.
I've always wondered how that works.
See, just I mean, because it's saying here they move normal, i.e., so it's not just all the examples.
Yeah.
Just they may charge move as normal, except they are able to pass freely above other models without any penalty. So I feel like that means at least at a minimum you can choose.
Yeah,
like,
you can
either
choose.
run into them or go over the top and hit the other one.
Yeah. Okay. Sweet.
But yeah, I've heard people say that, maybe that's still a bit,
Yeah, because in the pursuit, it's like, if it will put you into contact with a new enemy.
Yeah.
But then I suppose with that, it's sort of giving you the choice, isn't it?
Now, the only thing I guess you're not declaring a charge, are you? I was just thinking, like, can you ever get in the point where you're a flyer, but because if you're not monstrous and large target, you can't see the other person to do it? But I guess you're not declaring a charge against a fleeing unit, so.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I can't think of any off the top of my head if there's other ones, but
there's one other one I was thinking of, well, I was reading about this the other day, is with the mountain pass, and this goes into your flying thing. Mountain pass being that it's got impassable terrain on each side of the board. If you have a flyer that's forced to give ground into that off the edge of the table, but essentially into that impassable terrain, do they get knocked off the board or do they just bounce off the terrain?
Yeah. I think in this case, because you know how there is some impassables like spells that are like you can't fly over either. Like I guess, I mean, technically, you have to envision it's that, but I don't know. Because doesn't it explicitly say what can go off there, and that was it?
It says they can, unless they have the ethereal fly special rule. So they can. It says in there, it says you can traverse it if you have fly. But it's
you're
just a matter
saying
of
choose
whether you give ground, whether you can,
so I choose to do it on the ground and then bang in. Yeah, well, I guess you're allowed to
fly or not.
You're allowed to always choose. They can't make you fly.
Yeah.
So in that case, you'd hit the you'd hit the wall.
Now ethereal would go off because they can't choose.
They can't choose. Nice. Yep.
Yeah.
Point.
Cool. What
right.
should we do? Have you got any more, or do you want to wrap this one up because it's getting late now again?
That was my last one.
That was the last one. No, there's so many rules. I think like it's just one of these things. We're at that point where, I mean, you got the S-bot, which seems to be the semi non-official official.
I've actually skimmed that lot, like because they're first one came out was good, but then I think a lot of them got answered with that last sort of batch of
Yeah.
FAQs. Hopefully we get another FAQ at some point because it sounded like F-Spot had knocked a lot of them. It's not a massive list now, is that right?
Yeah, it wouldn't be.
Okay.
The big ones, yeah.
Yeah. And I think it's funny, like it feels like we have been a bit negative lately about, improve this and this, but like at the end of the day, I think we're only ever saying it just to get a better, like just keep fixing the issues. Like you don't, it's like normal. You don't talk about all the positives half the time. You just talk about some of the stuff you want fixed. But at the end of the day,
I love playing the game.
game's totally playable. And like, I don't know, I can't remember many games where you're sitting there, like providing the rules, so to speak, you're not sitting there going, there's no answer here. Like, what the fuck? Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's totally still playable. And it's tournament, even in a tournament, it's still playable. It's just some rough edges still, and just needs to be cleaned up a bit.
These are rare sort of situations you're talking about. This is like you might have a tournament, you do 5 games, and there might be, possibly one of these things might come up where you've got to go to the TO and just say, oh, we can't find a ruling on this.
Yeah.
Like not even that. Like usually you can just dice roll it because it's just a speed thing. Like these are very rare occurrences, but
just like you just want an answer at that point. So that's the thing. I think these when you're playing, and I'm assuming if you play a lot of games and you're with your mates, most of the time you wouldn't even run into these things, or you just come up with what the issue. Like every game's complicated, so hopefully a couple more FAQs and a couple of maybe by the time they get to second ed, hopefully they just clean some of that up, take some stuff out that didn't work, that type of thing.
9th Age has been going for how long, and they're still trying to, it's almost like trying to find a rule for every little minuscule.
Yeah, and it just makes it more complex again, almost. I'm not saying it is because I looked at 3rd edition. Old World is pretty complex, but at some point you just can't cover everything. It's a complex game.
Nah. Well,
it's
that's
not chess, there's not just squares that everyone's trying to fit into,
Yeah.
So.
I mean, it's always fun, I think, at the end of the day. Like you said, if you're not getting an advantage or anything, it's a lot just dice roll it.
Yeah.
Like if it's...
I do think that there was a video, I hadn't watched the whole thing, but Luke Blaxwell and I can't remember the other guy's name, they have a big 3-hour talk about different stuff, and Luke Blaxwell talks about his win, with the pegs, and and they're unabashed 8th edition fans, and he's right. Like I feel like people fall into the camp of 8th ed versus 6th ed sort of thing, like in terms of what they would prefer. Like that's normal, but I also do agree that I think 8th ed and 8th ed gets shitted on a lot because of some of the stuff, but I think 8th ed definitely was more of it felt like a more tournament friendly game because of some of those faster mechanics that they'd worked out. And I think that's just some of the things that maybe Old World maybe could borrow a little bit more from, so to speak, I don't know how it all fits in and breaks. Maybe they tried and then things broke, like the way the fighting rank thing works. But if you went to closest, roll your dice for a charge type thing, it might break that if people had line hammering and you could just charge across the other side of the board.
Yeah.
But certainly there was less of that. Yeah, there was a lot more cases where you could all agree, roll the dice, right or wrong, that type of thing. And I feel like we lost a bit of that with Old World. And that doesn't make it bad. It just means we've said this from day one, or in tournaments, these things are going to crop up where people are going to disagree, how far is this charge or stuff like that. So
anyway, it's still sort of early days, like you said.
No, it's all good. Still happy. It's good. Loving it. Cool. Well, I guess that's it. I guess, just as an outro though, like I guess keep an eye on our socials and comments and stuff, because we're going to start dribbling out some things about our competition and our live streams for not only hopefully this week with the reveal, but also in 2 weeks. We're going to try to like I said, once a month live stream the podcast. And I don't know what topic we'll do when we're doing that, because I'm assuming we rattle on enough. Imagine when we've got people in the chat.
Oh my God. Yeah. So distracting.
But we did talk about it, and then like a day later, some of our patrons asked about it. to live stream it. So we went, oh,
It was
gotta
hilarious.
do it.
Yeah, I loved it.
So,
Hopefully
anyway,
we got another game coming up.
That's right.
Another bat rep.
the only thing, Andrew, happy to do what you want on that one, but I did think too next game as well. Another one is we should try a different comp, like as in like a 35% character or the 25% max
Ooh.
character or something like that, or
25%.
core hammer. I don't care. Just something different would be fun as well.
Yeah, I'll
but
be
yeah,
keen
you
for
want to
that.
try a comp like a 2K hard list? I'm happy to do that. It's all good.
Oh, I
Cool.
just want to try out
Try that one. Yeah, flying
try that one
bag
out.
thing.
But yeah, I reckon as well. If the 25% thing, definitely, I'm very keen to try that one.
Yeah, probably doesn't affect our lists too. Maybe it does. Depends which
I
ones
would
we
find
use.
it.
Yeah, where we would deals. Yeah. Okay.
But yeah, no, I want to see what's going to happen with it. Like, has this been adopted with any new? It's only just kind of come out, so
I haven't seen any tournaments that I know of, big ones that have gone to use it outside of that one yet. But there hasn't. We're going into Christmas time. You might not see any real big ones, so I'm not sure.
Yeah, we're in the hibernation period, aren't we?
Yeah.
Next to the month.
Yeah, I'm not sure about it. It does. I feel like it's going to have unintended consequences for certain. It just knocks out Chaos Lords on a dragon. Like you just can't pick it.
Basically. Yeah, it's a little bit of high odds
just
stuff. I
odd.
feel like I think people are, I don't know, that's a totally different topic, but I feel like just bring the character allotment down, let people still make the choice,
Yeah, that's a much cleaner solution.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's wrap this one up, shall we?
Yeah,
This
no
is a
worries.
long
Cool. Thanks
default.
for listening to another Whole World Fanatics. If you enjoyed this and all our other weekly ramblings, please give us a 5-star review either on your podcast software of choice or hit YouTube, like, subscribe, comment, ask us about our latest videos and all that sort of stuff, and jump over to patreon.com/allworldfanatics if you want to jump on that as well. Until next time, Andrew, Josh, patrons, everyone else, thanks for listening, watching another episode of All World Fanatics.
I think Gilfos will be pleased that we fitted in a bit about the character allowance slot because he was suggesting that again. He loves putting that comment in.
Awesome.
Loves
cool,
it.
guys. Oh, I've just screwed my screen up. See you guys. Bye.
Yeah.
Ciao.